Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 1 of our story. If you like this what if story and want to see part 2, let me know in the comments below. Before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also, check the description for more great content and my playlist. This story was posted by 𝗓𝗏123 on Wattpad. Now let's start. Izuku POV 1. I was just saved by All Might from the sludge villain. He was about to leave, but I wanted to ask him a question, so I grabbed onto his leg and he flew around the city. We eventually landed onto a roof, and as I was about to ask him my question, he shrunk into a skeleton-like man and explained an injury he gained 5 years ago. As he was about to walk off, I asked him my question. Izuku, wait before you go. People at my school told me I couldn't be a hero without a quirk, and I just want to know. Can I become a hero without a quirk? All Might sighed and responded. All Might, listen kid, being a hero is a dangerous job where villains use their quirks for harms, so no, I don't think you can be a hero without a quirk. It's okay to dream, but be realistic. 10. With that, Izuku's mind shattered. His dreams of being a hero has been crushed by the very person he idolized his entire life. 5. All Might, maybe you can be a police officer or a doctor. They don't get as much publicity because of heroes, but they can still help people. 2. And with that he left. All I feel is sadness, and I remember what 𝗓𝗏 Bakugo said. If you really want to be a hero, pray that you get a quirk in your next life and take a swan dive off the roof. So that's exactly what I did. I didn't care about my backpack or notebooks. I just climbed over the railing of the building I was on and jumped off without a second thought. As I was about to hit the ground, I looked to my left and saw the door open, and guess who was there? It was All Might in his skeleton form, so I simply flashed a smile and crashed into the cement of the sidewalk. With that, I started to feel tired and I closed my eyes and stopped breathing, and the last thing I thought was, I'm sorry Mom and Dad, I will see you soon. 8. All Might's POV. Warning, minor gore. I was walking down the stairs of the building filled with regret about how I just crushed his dreams. I remember how I once was quirkless and realized just how quirk-dependent that this society is. Have I really gone that far from my original ideals of how everyone can be a hero? At least I got that sludge villain holds sludge villain in bottle. I am lucky that it didn't slip with that kid on my legs. I was contemplating whether I should go back upstairs and correct myself. As I walked outside, I heard a sort of whooshing sound and looked up. Time sort of slowed down as I saw the very kid I just talked to fall with his arms outstretched. Me, and his eyes locked, and he flashed me an innocent smile. With that, he crashed into the ground with his blood seeping out of him, forming a small puddle. His bones made a deafening crunch sound, and his once green hair was dyed with his blood. I quickly dashed in my buff form and rushed over to him and found his pulse to be weak. When I flipped him over, I could faintly see his internal organs with a piece of his flesh barely hanging onto the visible ribcage that had a small fracture and missing piece. Never in my days of being a hero have I seen such an injury. I was mentally debating what I should do, and my first thought was, recovery girl can heal him. So I quickly flew to you, and burst into the nurse's office where she was sitting and writing on a clipboard. 8. All Might, Chio, help me, recovery girl. What do you need, you dumb gorilla? Looks up to see the kid. Oh my god, get him onto the bed. What happened to him? 1. All Might. He jumped off a building and I couldn't catch him in time. 6. Recovery girl. Kisses the boy to heal him and he glows green there. That might stop the bleeding. Attaches heart monitor to him. It starts beating, but it's slower than normal. 1. Izuku barely mutters, I'm sorry Mom and Dad, I will see you soon. With that last phrase, the boy's heart monitor stopped and made a long beep noise. With that, my face paled and my heart sunk. I just drove a kid to suicide, was the only thing rushing through my mind at the moment. I then started to sob heavily, and due to the intense emotions I turned into my buff form for a few split seconds, and I turned to recovery girl who had a solemn look on her face. 3. All Might, how could I just have a moment to myself with the boy? Recovery girl, nods, call me back in when you're ready. Leaves All Might, I'm sorry boy. I'm sorry that I drove you to this. Me, the symbol of peace, is nothing but a liar. As he is crying into his hands, he notices a faint red glow on the boy's body. 1. All Might. Sniff, what's that? Gets recovery girl. Chio, do you know what's happening? Is this a sign of your quirk? Recovery girl, no, it's not my quirk. It could be the boy's. All Might, he said he was quirkless. Maybe just maybe he was a late bloomer or he had a hidden quirk. As the light gets brighter I am forced to cover my eyes with my hands and the boy's body starts to shake and make weird symbols appear in the air. As the finally subsides and the shaking and symbols stopped, the boy's eyes shoot open. The boy looks different. He appears taller with weird antlers and tufts on his head. His skin looks gray. He opens his mouth with a yawn and I notice how his normally pearl-white teeth have been replaced by sharp golden-looking teeth, similar to those of a shark. He had larger, almost clawed fingertips and the final fact was that his broken cloths just disappeared, allowing me and Qiyo to see upper half of his scared body with the blankets of the BLD-soaked bed covering his lower area. 5 Qiyo whispers to me Toshi. I grabbed one of his notebooks from his backpack and found out his name is Izuku and Shoto. All Might, what's the A stand for? Qiyo, I looked him up in the system and found out it's Elaster. 9 All Might, so Izuku Elaster Midoriya. Izuku, why yes that's me and Qiyo look at him in surprise since we were keeping our voices low. But the thing that shocked us the most was his radio-like voice. Izuku, wait, what's wrong with my voice? Where am I? For you. All Might, calm down young Midoriya, you are in you. And it's me All Might. Izuku, wait, I died. How am I here? Is it my quirk? Recovery girl, is it okay if I give you a quirk test to see if you have one? Izuku, sure. After the test the results come back and says he is still quirkless. After running the test multiple times it still says he is quirkless. Recovery girl, that's impossible. It says you're quirkless. All Might, that's impossible. How can he be quirkless and be sitting here after dying? 1 Izuku, also what is that beeping noise? It's really loud. His ears start to twitch on his head. Recovery girl, wait, that's the heart monitor. Runs to Izuku and feels for a pulse. Okay, so do you want the good news or the bad news first? Izuku, I will take the bad news first. Recovery girl, bad news is you're dead. I can't feel a pulse and your chest shows no signs of breathing and you feel icy cold. Good news is that you're here and alive. 25 I couldn't believe what I was hearing. A boy who just jumped off a building, died, came back to live, and has the similarities with a corpse. I must apologize. All Might, Qiyo, I need to have a word with young Midoriya for a moment. Recovery girl, okay, take all the time you need. I will call Aizawa for a theory I have. All Might, listen young Midoriya. I wanted to apologize for everything you said. As I was walking down the steps of the building and I regretted every word that I said to you. I wanted to correct myself and tell you that you can be a hero without a quirk. Is it okay if I tell you a story? Izuku, it's okay. All Might, you can tell me the story. All Might explains the story of One for All and All for One and how he was once quirkless. Izuku, so you were once quirkless. All Might, yes Izuku, I wanted to tell you this so I can make amends. I don't know what I would do if you died and didn't come back. I would never forgive myself. Izuku, it's okay. All Might. 10 All Might, call me Toshinori Yagi. At the end of that young Midoriya pulled me into a hug. With this I was realizing the height difference and how he towered over me. After the hug Shota and Qiyo walk in. For Aizawa, hey Toshi, who's the kid? All Might, this is young Midoriya. Qiyo, alright Aizawa, can you use your quirk on Izuku real quick? I want to see if my theory is correct. 2 Aizawa, you want me to use it on the kid? Qiyo, yes. Aizawa, is it okay if I use my quirk on you real quick kiddo? Izuku, sure thing Eraserhead. With that we all pause and looked at him with wonder and questioned how did he know that Aizawa is Eraserhead? Aizawa, how do you know that? I make sure that no one knows my identity. Izuku, well you look exactly like him and I was kinda a fanboy of all heroes. I even analyzed them in my hero journals that are in my bags. 5 Man, not only is this kid strange but he is very intelligent. 3 Aizawa, okay I'm going to use my quirk on you. Activates his quirk and stares at Izuku but nothing happens. 1 Recovery girl, okay that's enough. Just as I thought. Izuku, what? Recovery girl, well you are quirkless but it's confusing how you are like this. Anyways it's getting late, is it okay if we keep you here for observation? 5 Izuku, sure it's fine. Recovery girl, okay what is your parents' phone number so I can get permission? With that we all hear what appears to be a mic stop like in a radio. We then look at Izuku since he is the one with a radio voice. Izuku, well, the thing was that my mom and dad died after getting caught in the way of a villain fight with 𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏. 3 I'm sure Aizawa and Chiyo were also thinking about that flaming trash bag too. All Might, young Midoriya, I would like to know how you got those scars. 5 Izuku, oh well, it was from people bullying me for being quirkless and them using their quirks on me. With that we all are filled up with rage and disappointment. We then hear some shuffling around and from a vent on the ceiling out pops the rat god himself Nezu. 37 Nezu, that is truly despicable. Hello Midoriya, it's me Principal Nezu. I couldn't help but overhear this conversation and I would like to ask if you would like to join us here in you. For Izuku, it would be a pleasure to go to you. After all, it was a dream of mine to attend. With that he flashes a bright smile, but it is off-putting due to his sharp yellow teeth and scary-looking appearance. Nezu, now it's late and also I think that you should sleep Midoriya since after all you had a long day. Izuku, thank you sir. Oh, and just call me 𝗎𝗪𝗧𝗏 from now on. 8 Nezu, okay 𝗎𝗪𝗧𝗏. Have a good night. All Might, bye, have a good night young 𝗎𝗪𝗧𝗏. I will drop by in the morning to visit you. Recovery girl, good night young one. Get your rest and sweet dreams. Aizawa, okay see you kiddo, it was nice meeting you. With that we all left and I couldn't wonder but think on how I will treat young 𝗵𝗏𝗧𝗏 better. Author's note, I will start calling Izuku 𝗎𝗪𝗧𝗏 from now on 𝗎𝗪𝗧𝗏's POV. With that I drifted into a slumber. But I woke up into a dream-like land which quickly molded into a small sort of room with a fireplace and a deer head on the wall mounted above the fireplace. There was a figure hidden in darkness, sitting in one of the 2 chairs next to the fireplace. 𝗎𝗪𝗧𝗏, hello, who's there? Hello Izuku Midoriya, or should I say 𝗎𝗪𝗧𝗏. I am the person who granted you this power. I am what you would call God but not from this universe. I noticed how you have been put down by everyone in your life and have gone through tough times. It pains my heart seeing my creations being like this, so I gave you this power. This power might be viewed as villainous, and it is. This power could destroy the earth if you wanted. But I trust that you will not abuse this power and use it for good. The only way to fuel this power is if you consume human flesh, so you will need to find a source. I trust that you won't kill innocents, but I will put a blind eye to those who are villains. But with that I want you to try and befriend the villains and be a hero at the same time. Be a neutral force. Now about your powers, grab my hand and you will immediately know how to use them. Reach his hand. 5 I was dumbfounded to say the least. There was so many questions that went through my mind, but I still grabbed his hand. With his hand in my hand I felt so much information rush through my head as the information of my powers rushed through my mind. A searing pain flashed for a second until it subsided and I was left with him just looking at me from the shadows. 1. Remember my child, I will not be able to guide you further. Don't tell people where you got your power from. 2 𝗎𝗪𝗧𝗏, understood, and could I have your name to at least remember you by? With that the figure sat forward and was no longer hidden from the shadows. He had a large circular head that was pink, with a small white mustache, long nose, a top hat and a small suit. He had a soft smile that felt so reassuring and comforting that I felt like I was back with my parents again. Call me Pops. 34 𝗎𝗪𝗧𝗏, just Pops. Pops, yes my child, now wake up and give them a jolly good show and remember to keep smiling after all, you're never dressed without one. And with that I woke up with my newfound power and abilities coursing through my mind and I couldn't help but say in my mind, thanks Pops. Real name, Izuku 𝗎𝗪𝗧𝗏 Midoriya, goes by 𝗎𝗪𝗧𝗏 now. 7 Hero name, Radio Demon, age, 16 at death, immortal after death, gender, male, height, 7 feet 11 inches, his human form is 6 feet 2 inches, 5 demon form, nightmare form, 1 nightmare form, 2 human form, 6 quirk, none powers. Demon, nightmare, and human transformation, can shift his forms at will. Broadcasting, can project his voice through electronic devices that can emit sounds. Immortality, he can't die. 2. Healing, can heal others no matter the severity. Intelligence, basically a little bit smarter than Nezu. Eldritch, control those weird tentacle thingies, and his shadow minion. 4. Circus of Despair, essentially a dimensional prison of endless suffering that he can send or retrieve people from. 3. Manifestation can create objects or minions. Teleportation can teleport himself or whoever he is touching. Portal creation creates portals for others or himself if he's feeling dramatic. Image/. Video alteration can edit videos and images, or he can embed himself into it, like Pennywise in IT. Shadow manipulation controls shadows, can hide himself in shadows, and can spy on people using his shadow minion. 2. Reality distortion can distort the world and sounds in the area. 4. Outfit changing can change people's outfits at will. 7. Shape-shifting can turn into others. Memory viewing can see others' memories and let others see his memories or other people's memories. Mind control uses it. As a last resort, can be activated by him thinking of the target. 1. Immense strength, fire manipulation/fire resistance. Resistance things that would normally damage people like acid, electricity, poison, ice, etc. don't hurt him. Quirk cancellation is able to stop anyone's quirk either permanently or momentarily. 3. Premonition can foresee the future clearly, but he can't change it. Example, he can see if someone is going to trip, but he can't prevent them from tripping. 3. Quirk protection can protect himself from quirks. Future-seeing quirks can't see him or see events he causes. Quirks that take advantage, like Shinsu's mind control, doesn't work. No one's POV. All Might returned with Recovery Girl in the morning. They were heading to the nurse's office with Principal Nezu joining them. They were talking about 𝗧𝗪 and his health when suddenly they heard a strange static humming coming from the nurse's office. They were prepared for the worst, with All Might getting ready to go into his buff form. But as they opened the door, they saw 𝗧𝗪 there fixing the black bow tie of a red suit with his gloved claws and a staff leaning against his leg. But the thing that astonished them was the tall height of the young boy, who could clearly stand taller than Buff Might with his ear tufts nearly reaching the ceiling. All Might, young 𝗧𝗪, where did you get that suit? 𝗧𝗪, oh well, as I was sleeping I found out my powers, so I created my suit and staff. Recovery Girl, oh really? 𝗧𝗪, oh yeah. All Might, could you come here real quick? All Might, 𝗧𝗪, now this might hurt a bit, but trust me, okay? All Might, what might hurt? 𝗧𝗪 then reaches his hand out and places it on All Might's shoulder. The hand releases a small red glow and All Might flinches in pain for a split second before returning to his natural smile. 3. All Might, what was that? 𝗧𝗪, well, why don't you lift up your shirt and look at your wound? All Might lifts up his shirt and everyone is astonished that he fully healed his wound. All Might, why you healed me? Recovery Girl, impossible, not even my quirk could do that level of healing. 𝗧𝗪, well, it's one of my abilities. I figured that I could heal you. After all, it's the least I could do to repay you. 5. Nezu, so does this mean that he can stay in his buff form for longer? 𝗧𝗪, chuckles Mr. Nezu, it means that he can choose to look like his skeleton form or All Might. He carries the same amount of power that he would in his buff form in his skeleton form now. Think of it as All Might in disguise. 9. All Might, tears drip down face. Thank you, 𝗧𝗪. 𝗧𝗪, it was a pleasure to help the symbol of peace. Nezu, so what are your powers? 𝗧𝗪 then begins to describe his powers to the three. They sit there astonished due to the number of abilities he has. 1. 𝗧𝗪, although with this power there is only one drawback. Recovery Girl, and what would that be, young man? 𝗧𝗪, well, in order to keep my powers I have to consume human meat. It's so I can gain the energy from the flesh and use it for my own powers. Recovery Girl, well, that's not that big of a problem. We can order human flesh since people with cannibal-like quirks get access to those types of food. I will get a rush order that should be here later. 49. 𝗧𝗪, that would be nice. Nezu, 𝗧𝗪, there is something that I want to talk to you privately about. Is it okay if you follow me to my office? 𝗧𝗪, sure. Once they got to the office, 𝗧𝗪 snapped on the lights and sat down as Nezu was climbing up onto his chair. Nezu, 𝗧𝗪, I would like you to take an intelligence test since I believe that you are smarter than you appear. For 𝗧𝗪, well, you would be correct with that statement. My test grades didn't reflect it, but I knew most of the work in class. I didn't do well on purpose since people would attack me for being smarter than them. The teachers would tell my classmates since they don't like quirkless people. So I purposely let myself be held back and repeat my classes for 2 years. Nezu, yes, that reminds me, I would like to know what school did this so I can get it shut down. I believe in a no-discrimination area and I frown upon this injustice. 1 𝗧𝗧, I thank you for that. The school was called 𝗓𝗪𝙢𝗎𝗓. Nezu, okay, while I call my detective friend to investigate the school for quirk discrimination and illegal quirk use, could you start on the intelligence test? 𝗧𝗧, very well. Is it okay if I do it here? Nezu, sure, I will step out of the room. Leaves outside in the hall. Nezu, hello 𝗕𝗄𝐻, I have a case for you. Detective 𝗕𝗄𝐻, what is it this time? Nezu. Nezu, well, I found a quirkless student from 𝗓𝗪𝗢𝗎 and they described multiple cases of quirk discrimination, illegal quirk use, suicide baiting, and the list goes on. Detective 𝗕𝗄𝐻, I'm on a case right now but I will be there at the end of the day. Nezu, okay, I will be waiting with the student in question, just come to my office once you get here. Detective 𝗕𝗄𝐻, okay, be there later. Nezu then ends the call and enters back into the office where he sees 𝗧𝗧 sitting in the chair sipping something from a cup. Nezu, so 𝗧𝗧, did you start the quiz? 𝗧𝗧, actually I just finished. Nezu was surprised since he only stepped out of the room for a couple of minutes. Nezu, is it okay if I review the answers? 𝗧𝗧, here I will sit here in the meantime. Nezu, by the way, what are you drinking? 𝗧𝗧, oh, I manifested some green tea, would you care for a cup? Nezu, sure. 𝗧𝗧 then snaps and a cup of tea appears into Nezu's hand in a small puff of red smoke. 12 Nezu, sips tea. Thank you 𝗧𝗧. 𝗧𝗧, it was a pleasure. 2 Nezu then starts to review the test and his eyes widen and his smile starts to grow as he checks the answers. Nezu, remarkable. 𝗧𝗧, you got a perfect score and with such speed as well. 𝗧𝗧, wow, what does this mean? 3 Nezu, it means that you technically qualify to just stop school right now, but you still need to be taught how to be a hero, so I would like to ask you to give you a recommendation for Class 1A with Izawa. 𝗧𝗧, I would like that very much. But is it okay if I could watch the entrance exam with the other teachers? Nezu, not only will I grant you that request, but I would also like to ask if you could be a sort of teacher's assistant for Izawa. 1 𝗧𝗧, so what would I be doing? Nezu, well, you would help with teaching the students their basic academics like a teacher, and when it times to come to heroics class you would become a student. 𝗧𝗧, that sounds like a plan, you have a deal. As 𝗧𝗧 sticks his hand, green flames start to appear on the hand and the room starts to get windy. Nezu and 𝗧𝗧's eyes remain focused and Nezu grabs his hand despite the fire and thus sealing the deal. For as 𝗧𝗧 leaves Nezu's room he runs into All Might, who wanted to thank him again. All Might, 𝗧𝗧, I just wanted to thank you for accepting my apology and for healing me again. If there is anything you need I will help you with it. 1 𝗧𝗧, no need to thank me, All Might. I wanted to inform you anyways that I would be a teacher's assistant to Izawa this year. But there is one important thing that we cannot talk about here in the hallway. All Might, very well young 𝗧𝗧. Steps into another classroom. All Might, so what is it, young 𝗧𝗧? 𝗧𝗧, well, I wanted to tell you about me healing you. Just because I healed you I wanted to let you know that you must still do the 3 hours of heroism. This is because All for One is still alive and we don't want to cause any unwanted attention. All Might's face darkens and turns serious. All Might, how do you know that he is still alive? 𝗧𝗧, I used my premonition ability and saw that he is alive and will cause trouble for us in the future. For All Might, well, why can't we beat him now? 𝗧𝗧, right now he thinks that he has weakened you and no amount of quirks could see that you are healed since my power is not a quirk. He also does not know about me. As well. Right now we want the villains to see you weak when you are in fact strong. This is to lower their guard so we can capture them easily. 2 All Might, very well young 𝗧𝗧, if that is what must be done I shall do it. Thank you for warning me in advance. 𝗧𝗧, no problem. Oh shoot, I forgot to ask Nezu something. See you later, All Might. All Might, please 𝗧𝗧 call me Toshi and I hope I see you at the entrance exam viewing. 𝗧𝗧 teleports to Nezu's office. Nezu, I have a question. Nezu gets slightly startled and spills a drop of tea. What is it, 𝗧𝗧? 𝗧𝗧, is it okay if I stay here due to me not having the best home? 1 Nezu, that is fine, we have a spare room that you can sleep in for the time, but we might get dorms soon which you can then move into. 𝗧𝗧, okay, I will head there and decorate. Once I finish decorating I will head out for a bit. 5 Nezu, That's good, don't stay too long since the detective will be here at the end of the day. Also, before you head out, I wanted to tell you that I used my connections and I have gotten you a temporary hero license just so you don't get in trouble for helping people outside of school. I know that you haven't done the licensing exam, but due to your circumstances, I believe that you are responsible enough to have this. But other than that, farewell, young 𝗧𝗧. Hands him a card before waving by one 𝗧𝗧. Thank you, Nezu, sir. Smiles at him and teleports to his new room. Nezu, I think this year is going to be very interesting. Looks out office window while sipping tea. Very interesting indeed. 𝗧𝗧's POV. I walked into the room at the end of the hall. It was a semi-large room with a walk-in closet and an attached bathroom. The room itself was empty, with the only light being the overhead light and the sunlight coming from the window. I snapped my fingers and envisioned my ideal room. With this, the room became spotless and clean. It then transformed into this. Above my bed I added a deer skull since it resembled my deer antlers and my little ear tufts. One above my bed I added a deer skull since it resembled my deer antlers and my little ear tufts. I then added more of my suits into a large wardrobe on the side wall. Since I would be a semi-teacher, I converted the large walk-in closet to a small office space since I did not need the extra space. Since I would be a semi-teacher, I converted the large walk-in closet to a small office space since I did not need the extra space. For finally, I changed the bathroom since it was plainly boring. I mean, it was a small tub, sink and toilet. I went with a theme of red due to my new looks and the fact that is just simply my favorite color. 6. I went with a theme of red due to my new looks and the fact that is just simply my favorite color. Before, when you looked at me, you would think that it would be green, but that was just a common misconception due to my green hair and eyes. As I was thinking this, I shuddered due to my past. After I felt satisfied with my new living conditions, I exited my room and bumped into someone new. It had to be the loudest person I ever encountered. Present Mike. Due to my new height, he went face first into my chest while looking down. 2. Present Mike. Sorry about that. Looks up and his eyes fill with fear. I had my eyes closed since I flinched, and with my radio cane in hand I flashed him my warmest possible smile. But I forgot about my new looks. Present Mike. Who are you? Looks scared. 3. Present Mike. Who are you? Looks scared. 𝗧𝗧. May I speak now and can you quiet down? Present Mike. Sorry, wait a minute. Who are you? Are you a villain? 𝗧𝗧. Pleasure to meet you. Quite a pleasure. I am going to be the new teacher's assistant. Perhaps Nezu or All Might has told you. For Present Mike, they have never told me anything. So what are you doing? 𝗧𝗧. Well, I just decorated my room and I was going to go out for a bit. Present Mike. Why is your voice radio-like? Is it because of your quirk? 3. 𝗧𝗧. Well, yes and no. I have powers like a quirk, but it's not classified as a quirk. I would tell you more, but it would be a long story. Present Mike. Well, that's okay, maybe you can tell me later. But I would like to ask you something. 𝗧𝗧. Well, ask away. Present Mike. Well, that radio-looking 𝐒𝐭𝐲 does it work like a microphone? 𝗧𝗧. Well, yes. I can use it to make my voice louder or to project my voice like a microphone. Present Mike. Wow, that's cool. It's almost like my voice amplifier. Hey, if it's not a bother, could you possibly cover for my radio show in a couple of days? I have a patrol that happens to be on the time I would normally do my show. 8. 𝗧𝗧. That sounds like a swell idea. Just tell me the date and time later and I will cover for you. Present Mike. Okay, that's cool. Well, I will let you get on your way. 𝗧𝗧. Farewell, Present Mike. Hope to see you later. Present Mike. See you later. With that, I transformed into my human appearance to avoid another scare and kept walking down the hallways and out of the campus gates. As I was walking and admiring the town, I heard a sound of distress coming from one of the alleyways, so being the gentleman I am, I walked in only to see a girl with messy yellow buns and a bloodied school uniform. She was holding a knife that was glistening in the small amount of sunlight that reflected off the blade. She had a large grin which showed her fang-like teeth along with her golden cat-like eyes. Obviously, she tried to lure me here to kill me, but since I'm immortal, I might as well play along with this charade. 𝗧𝗧. Hello, may I be able to give you assistance? Yeah, you can. 𝗧𝗧. Okay, what can I help you with? Well, for one thing, you can give me your bill 5. She then rushes at me with her knife raised over her head and stabs me right in the neck. 𝗧𝗧. Well, that was rather rude. What, you're not dead? I stabbed you right in the neck. She pulls out the knife only to see the wound heal and there being no BLD on the knife. What how? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, let's start over. Hello, my name is 𝗧𝗲𝗧. May I be able to assist you? 3. My name is 𝗕𝗵𝗄 Toga and can give me your BLD 𝗧𝗲𝗧. Hano. Well, now that introductions are out, how about we talk for a bit? 5. Toga, why you will just report me to the cops? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, and why would I do that to such a pretty face? Toga has a slight blush. You think I'm pretty after I tried to kill you. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, why yes is that wrong? Toga, and no, it's just nobody ever told me that. 6. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, how would you like to get coffee and have a chat? 2. Toga, I would like that. So I walked out of the alleyway with her and I forgot that she had a bloodied school uniform. So I snapped my fingers and she was wearing a cleaned version of her clothes. And we continue our trek to a cafe. Toga, thank you. Why is he so nice to me? 11. Me and Toga get to a cafe and begin to talk about her past. I found out that she was ostracized for her quirk, but I just found her quirk to be unique. She told me how her quirk was villainous and I explained to her that it's not. After that I explained to her all the good she can do with it, such as spying on villains and being an underground hero. She broke out in tears and clung on to me while crying about how thankful she was for me understanding and being nice. I wiped her tears with one of the napkins and tilted her chin up with my fingers so she is looking into my crimson eyes. For 𝗧𝗲𝗧, don't cry, dear. It pains me to see tears and a frown upon such an appealing face. You should smile more, after all you're never fully dressed without one. 3. Toga, sniff. Why you're right, thank you, smiles. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, listen, I know that due to your quirk you have killed before, but that's okay. It's not your fault. Pulls her into a tight hug. I might have a way to help you, but you have to trust me. Toga, you are the only one who treated me nice in my entire life, so I trust you. With that we paid for our drinks and started to walk to you. And we walked to Principal Nezu's office. When we got there she appeared to be nervously shaking and biting her lip. In order to lighten the mood I suggest her a plan. She reluctantly agreed. So I picked her up bridal style and yelled before entering the room. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, Nezu, I am respecting your privacy by knocking. And asserting my demps as one of the new teachers by coming in anyway. 20. With that I burst into the room carrying Toga and find Nezu and Detective 𝗧𝗵𝗄𝐻𝗫 casually sipping tea before hysterically laughing. I put her down and I begin to talk. Nezu, now that was the funniest thing I have seen all week. Thank you, 𝗧𝗲𝗧. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, no problem, Nezu. You should do that whenever you have to talk to one of the other teachers. Nezu, that is a genius idea. Now who are you, Miss 1 Toga? 𝗕𝗵𝗄 Toga. She says with slight nervousness. Nezu, it's a pleasure, Miss Toga. Now 𝗧𝗲𝗧, what would you like to discuss? 𝗧𝗧𝗧, well sir, she had problems with her quirk and it caused her to have a BLD lust which made her become a sort of villain. Is it possible that we can have a sort of rehabilitation program to get her to train her quirk and avoid her being arrested? For 𝗧𝗂𝗁𝗲, wait, she was a villain. Would this be the villain that left bodies drained of BLD in alleyways? Toga, why Nezu? Well yes there is. Rummages through desk, here it is. It's a form that we must sign in order for a villain, or in this case Toga, to enroll into a rehabilitation program in you. But she will have to be monitored. So I expect you to take responsibility of her being here since she would have to stay with you for safety reasons. 2. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, I understand, sir. Nezu, now me and Detective 𝗧𝗂𝗁𝗲 here will have to ask Miss Toga here a few questions and get a bit of backstory from her, so could you step outside for a moment? I will call you back in when we're ready to sign the forms. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, okay Nezu. Glances at a worried Toga. Don't be nervous, Toga. Just be truthful with him and remember, no matter what I will be there for you even if we just met. 1 Toga, thank you 𝗧𝗲𝗧. With that I step out of the room and wait nervously for around 30 minutes before I hear my name called by Nezu. I entered the room and saw Toga looking happy, and as me and her locked eyes, she blushed ever so slightly. Nezu, now me and Toga here talked and I approve of the program. We talked about that specifics like rules, so we can skip that. We also talked about how she will get BLD from Recovery Girl for her quirk. Now all I need is for you to sign these papers and she will be under your watch for the next couple of months. Until the entrance exams you will help her and support her in all of her training. When the entrance exams happens she will only take the written test since I believe she has the skill due to her previous line off work. 𝗧𝗲, I understand fully sir and I promise if anything happens that I will take full responsibility. 𝗬𝗁𝗁, once the papers are fully signed I will bring them down to the station and register her in the program. 𝗧𝗲, thank you for giving her another chance detective. With the papers signed I picked up Toga bridal style and walked to my room. As we were walking I hummed a small tune with my normal voice and felt her nuzzle her head into my chest where she fell asleep. Once I reached the room I placed her underneath the covers on the bed. I then took off my coat and hanged it up. After that I took off my shoes and sat on the sofa near the window and fell asleep as well. Toga's POV, I had a nice dream. I dreamt that I was saved by a boy in red who gave me another chance at life. As I opened my eyes from the bright light, I found out that I was in a bedroom that I have never seen before. I realized that it wasn't a dream since I saw the boy in question sitting on one of the couches sleeping. He was so peaceful and he was emitting a soft radio static in his sleep. Why would he emit static? Is that his quirk? He looked so cute sleeping. Wait, why did I say that? No Toga, focus. I walked over to him and tugged on his arm to wake him. 5 Toga. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, hey 𝗧𝗲 wake up. 𝗧𝗲, oh hey Toga. Wipes eyes I then see him do a large yawn and I get a full view of all of his razor-sharp golden-looking teeth which quickly turned into pearly white normal teeth. He didn't have those yesterday. Maybe it's my mind being tired from just waking up. 𝗧𝗲's POV, I woke up to Toga slightly tugging my arm awake. With that I rubbed my eyes and yawned. I was feeling a bit hungry so I asked Toga if she would like to eat. She said sure so we went to Recovery Girl's office since the order of human meat should be here so I can eat. We enter the nurse's office and I see Recovery Girl putting something into a fridge. 𝗧𝗲, hey Recovery Girl. Hello 𝗧𝗲 and who might this young lady be? Waves at Toga. Hello I'm Himiko Toga. Recovery Girl, well it's nice to meet you Miss Toga. 𝗧𝗲, did my special meat come yet? Recovery Girl, why yes it did. I am storing the extra meat here but I informed Lunch Rush about your condition and he is cooking breakfast for you as we speak. 5 𝗧𝗲, thank you. Toga, shall we go to the cafeteria now? Toga, why yes we can. With that me and Toga head to the cafeteria walking with our arms linked together. Toga again thanks me for being so nice and caring towards her, and I simply replied that it's what a true hero would do. When we get to the cafeteria me and Toga introduce ourselves to Lunch Rush. Lunch Rush, well here you go 𝗧𝗲, hands him a cooked piece of flesh and white rice and Miss Toga what would you like to eat? Toga, could I have pancakes? Lunch Rush, why certainly. 𝗧𝗲, Mr. Lunch Rush I have a question regarding lunch. Lunch Rush, ask away while I cook the pancakes. 𝗧𝗲, well due to my circumstance could I possibly try a seasoned piece of meat? Like a substitution in a more flavorful dish. Lunch Rush, okay, what flavor were you thinking of? 𝗧𝗲, could it be something spicy? 2 Lunch Rush, certainly. I will surprise you with a spicy dish during lunchtime. And here is your pancakes Miss Toga. Toga, thank you Mr. As we sit down I start to eat the cooked flesh and I was a bit reluctant to consume it. But all of those thoughts went away when I realized how good it tasted. I then started to dig into the meat and rice since it was so good. Even though it wasn't flavored and it was plain it made my mouth drool in anticipation at the thought of seasoned food later. When I looked up from finishing my rice I saw Toga eating her pancakes with a small tear going down her eye. 2 𝗧𝗲, is there something wrong with the food my dear? 6 Toga, and no it's just that I haven't had a meal like this in a long time. Did he just call me dear? Starts to blush 1 𝗧𝗲. Well expect more in the future. Since I will be taking care of you in the upcoming months. Toga, thank you 𝗧𝗲 for everything. Pulls into hug with her sudden action I could feel my face start to heat up. I was thinking on why I was feeling like this. Am I sick? But wait I thought I was immortal. Something is definitely wrong. Could it be love? No that's silly we just met, let's not think that now. Hug her. And pat her back while she puts her head into my chest due to me being taller than her even in my human form. For Toga, so what will we be doing today? 𝗧𝗲, well I have to go deal with some business with Nezu regarding my old school. Since school is technically in session until summer, I was thinking I could help teach and train you. Toga. It sounds boring, but I guess we can do it since it's been a while since I was in school. I guess while you're doing your business, with Nezu I can hang in your room. 𝗧𝗵𝗲, sounds like a plan, doll. I will pick you up from my room after my meeting. Toga. See you later then. Runs off to my room. 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Why does she keep stuttering and getting flustered whenever I give her an endearing name? Teleports to Nezu's office. 8 Nezu. 𝗧𝗵𝗲, I have been expecting you for quite some time. Well, let me get straight to the point. My friend Detective 𝗧𝗵𝗲 and I did some investigating on your school, and we discovered that all of your claims was indeed true. We have came up with enough evidence to shut the school down and hold the teachers and students responsible, along with placing you into the protection of you. 𝗧𝗵𝗲, that is good news, although I have a request. Nezu, and what would that be? 𝗧𝗵𝗲, well, I was hoping that you would shut the school down at the end of the school year, since there is a few more months before summer. I would like this so the students can at least say their goodbyes and still learn. Nezu, you want this despite what they have done to you. 𝗧𝗵𝗲, well, I may have been bullied, but I am not heartless. They will get what they deserve. The teachers will be held accountable, but for the students, could they just have to attend quirk discrimination classes, since I believe they don't know any better. I want this since I believe that they can redeem themselves and see the error of their way. If Toga, who killed people, can get on the path to redemption, then I believe some kids who were bullies can change for the better as well. 9 Nezu. 𝗧𝗵𝗲, that despite everything I truly believe you have kind heart. You will make a great hero. 1 𝗧𝗵𝗲, thank you Nezu. Could you relay this message to 𝗧𝗵𝗁? Nezu, sure thing. With that I believe that we are done. 𝗧𝗵𝗲, oh, I know that the entrance exams are in 10 months and school is currently in session, so I was wondering if I can use the facilities of you to train Toga, along with asking some of the teachers for private lessons so she can catch up on her studies. Also, is it okay if me and Toga are spotted by the teachers? I did have a run-in with President Mike yesterday. Nezu, I believe that's okay. I will be holding a staff meeting later regarding your newfound employment, and you can ask your fellow teachers for those private lessons. I would also like to give you and Toga a card so that you two can freely leave the campus, since you are special cases. But per the agreement, if Toga leaves, you must be there with her. 𝗧𝗵𝗲, I will attend that meeting, and I can assure you that I will be by her side if she leaves you. Nezu, well, now that all things are in order, I suppose that I can let you go teach Toga. 𝗧𝗵𝗲, very well. And with that I bid you adieu bows and teleports away to my room. But what I didn't expect was coming back and seeing Toga wearing one of my suit jackets while looking at herself in a mirror and standing on a chair dramatically. I sat on the couch and crossed my legs and decided to tease her. 𝗧𝗵𝗲, why, you look absolutely stunning, darling. With that she whips her head around and stares at me with her eyes widening. Toga. 𝗧𝗵𝗲, it's not what it looks like. Trips and falls backwards on the chair. With that I teleport to her and catch her. 𝗧𝗵𝗲, well, what does it look like then, doll? With that her face turns bright red and she covers her face and runs to the bathroom while leaving my suit jacket in my arms. Toga. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 she sticks her hand and gives me a thumb up from the slightly opened bathroom door. 30-minute time skip. While waiting for her to finish, she pokes her head out of the door, and all I can see was her head peeking out of the door. Her hair was wet and it was down, so it was slightly leaning off the side of her head, dropping small droplets onto the floor. Toga, hey 𝗧𝗓𝗧. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, yes Toga. Toga, well funny story, but he don't have any spare clothes. With that my face becomes bright red at the thought of her naked. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, okay. Snaps fingers and gym clothes appear here, change into these. Toga, thanks, grabs clothes and quickly shuts door. After she grabbed the clothes, my mind was running rampant with thoughts. I shook my head and expelled all of the dirty thoughts, since it wasn't very gentlemanly. After a couple of minutes she exits the bathroom wearing the gym clothes and looking quite cute with that as well. 8 Toga, okay I'm ready to go. 2 𝗧𝗓𝗧, did she just call me okay let's head out. 7 With that I teleport us to the gym and take off my jacket and undershirt and place them in my gym bag since we are about to start our training. 𝗧𝗓𝗧's POV. 8 After I took off my shirt and jacket I exposed my scared chest and back along with a newly developed and toned six-pack. That's new. Maybe it came with my new body. As I started to stretch, I couldn't help but feel as if I was being watched, so I turned around and saw Toga with a shocked face along with a minor nosebleed. I quickly rushed to her aid with a towel. "One 𝗧𝗧𝗧, are you okay? You appear to be bleeding." Wipes BLD with a towel. Toga snaps out of trance. "Oh yeah, sorry about that, I was just admiring your muscles." 𝗧𝗧𝗧, "Well, that's fine, but start stretching. I called All Might and he should be here soon to train us." Toga, "Wait, All Might's teaching us." "All Might, I am here to train you." With that, I see Buff Might burst through the gym doors. He is wearing a black t-shirt with dark green track pants and some black boots. He had 2 sheets of stacks of papers and handed them to each of us. He then deflates to his small Might form. "Toga, who are you?" "All Might. It's me, All Might, but in my civilian form, since we will be going to a different place to train your bodies. I don't want us to get distracted by people or reporters." "Toga, what are those?" Points to papers in his hands. "1, All Might. Well, these would be your training regiments. They are a plan that leads all the way to the entrance exams that have everything planned, ranging from your academic studies, physical training, and quirk training. Everything that you will need is in these 2 nifty packets." "1 𝗧𝗧𝗧, these certainly do seem like a lot." "All Might, well, it is since it's aimed for you to go plus ultra and be prepared for you." Toga, "Wow, this is so much." Begins to pout childishly. "1, All Might. Don't worry, young Toga. By the time you're done, you will be prepared for class here at you. 𝗧𝗧𝗧, "Don't worry, Toga, I will be here to support you and train alongside you." Toga, "That makes it a little bit better. Now you said we are going someplace new to train." All Might, "Yes, we will be going to 𝗕𝗶𝗶𝗍 Municipal Beach." 𝗧𝗧𝗧, "You mean the trashed beach?" All Might, "Exactly." Toga, "Why are we going to that dump?" All Might, "It's to train your bodies in carrying the heavier trash there while also doing the community a favor and restoring the beach." 𝗧𝗧𝗧, "Well, that makes sense." All Might, "Now let's get going. We will be taking the train there, so let's hurry." 𝗧𝗧𝗧, "All Might, I have a faster way of getting there instead." Toga, "You do." I then proceed to open a red portal leading to the entrance of the beach. Toga and All Might enter it, and I grab me and Toga's gym bags before hopping into the portal and closing it behind us. Toga, "Wow, 𝗧𝗧𝗧, I didn't know that you had a warping quirk." 𝗧𝗧𝗧, "Well, there's many things that you don't know about me, doll." Winks. With that, she starts to blush, and I give a small chuckle before placing our bags down. For the next 4 hours, we do basic training like push-ups and sit-ups before moving on to the more advanced exercises like moving the trash and training in agility and stamina. By the time we are done, it's nearly lunchtime, so we decide to call it a break. So I open a portal back to you, and we all go through. All Might heads to Nezu's office to inform Nezu of our training schedule, while me and Toga go back to the room so we can get cleaned up for lunch. I let her go take a shower first, and when she comes out, I go second. With that, I put on a nicer suit, and she puts on her uniform. 2 𝗧𝗧𝗧's clothes, but in his human form. 9 𝗧𝗧𝗧's clothes, but in his human form. 𝗧𝗧𝗧, "Shall we go to the lunchroom now, my dear?" Offers arm. Toga, "Why, yes, we can, my good sir." Links arm. With that, we share a small chuckle while going to the lunchroom. We forgot that school was in session for you. So when we walked in, we got many stares from the students. Random student 1, "Who is she?" Random student 2, "More like who is he?" Random student 3, "Man, he's kinda hot." Random student 4, "Diamen, that girl is hot too." Random student 5, "Why is he not in uniform?" Random student 6, "Are they new?" Random student 7, "Why are you asking me, dumbass?" 10. I started to get annoyed with all of the stares and gossip, so I told Toga to just ignore them. As we walked to the front of the lunch line to receive our special foods, we were cut off by a few male students. One male student 1, "Hey, why are you cutting?" 𝗧𝗧𝗧, "Well, me and my lady friend here are trying to get some lunch." Male student 2, "Well, maybe you are new here, but you should know that we kind of run things around here. Isn't that right, boys?" With that, a few of the boys' goons start to agree and chuckle. 𝗧𝗧𝗧, "I don't think so. I believe that role belongs to the staff." Male student 3, "Well, the staff ain't here. Maybe you should scram." "But not you, little lady. Why don't you ditch this freak so we can show you a good time?" The last sentence he spoke sent me over the edge. I looked at Toga, who looked visibly disgusted, and as she met my eyes she could see the pure rage bubbling over. My hand started to ball up and I released a strong malicious aura along with heavy radio static. I started to stare down at the boy since I was taller than him even in my human form. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, Toga, could you be a dear and cover your ears for a moment? Toga, yes Al. Oh, and make sure you make an example of this piece of trash. Male student 3, who are you calling trash, you wear? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, take that back. Voice turns stat icky male student 2, or what, it's not like you can hurt us. With that he just crossed the line. So I started to chuckle softly, which then turned into an insane laughter. With this Toga covered her ears and the entire lunchroom stared at us. I snapped my fingers and made it so that only the boys can see my demon form. My body grew to my 7 feet 11 inches height. My pupils started to turn into radio dials and my eyes became dark black voids. My mouth turned into a large smile that started to release BLD. Glowing red symbols started to appear around me. I could feel my small antlers grow and the entire room felt heavier, which froze some students. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, if I wanted to hurt anyone here, 7 𝗧𝗲𝗧, if I wanted to hurt anyone here, 𝐈𝐵LDESO 𝐴RY10. With that single phrase 2 of the boys fainted while the third leader-like boy dropped to his knees while trying to stop his body from shaking. So I absolutely towered over him and gave him the most vicious glare. Male student 3, WW, who are you? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, IAMTHERADIODMON. With that he fainted and everyone else looked at me with fear, with some students crying, fainting, puking, or just silently standing there frozen in fear. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, let that be a lesson to all of you. Disrespect her or me and suffer the 𝐒𝐭𝐚𝐲. Everyone who was conscious or not completely frozen in fear nods their heads furiously in agreement. So with that I turned back to Toga, who had an odd love-struck smile on her face while blushing profusely. So once I snap her back into reality, we continue our original walk to go get our lunch. Lunch rush. Wow, 𝗧𝗲𝗧, you really spooked them. You actually had me in fear. I thought you were going to kill the boys. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, honestly I just wanted to rip his head off because of what he said. Not only did he insult me, but he had the audacity of insulting Toga. Toga, I would have stabbed him. Lunch rush. Sigh, well, enough of that murder talk, here's your lunch. For you 𝗧𝗲𝗧, I cooked you some Cajun jambalaya with your special meat, based on your request of spicy food. And for you Miss Toga, I made you some hamburgers with special ketchup made with your needed, special juice. Whispers, I mean your 2 BLD and human meat. 25 𝗧𝗲𝗧, why thank you Lunch Rush. Toga, thanks Mr. Lunch Rush. Lunch Rush, it's nothing kiddos. Now go on and eat your food and don't forget to tell me about your meals. 𝗧𝗲𝗧/Toga. With that we walked to a table and everyone cleared out from that table as we sat down. We both started to eat and have small talk at the same time, ignoring all of the stares and whispers regarding us. She asked me about my quirk and what I did to those guys earlier, and I told her that I will tell her later. She reluctantly agreed after a long negotiation. She also thanked me again for standing up for her, and she put her hand onto my hand, which made my face heat up. Once we finished, we thanked Lunch Rush for the food and headed to my room since we would be studying there. Once we entered the room, Toga changed into something more comfortable while I remained in my suit. I placed the learning materials down, and for the next 3 hours I helped Toga study and do practice test. It was nearing around 6 p.m., so I told Toga that I will be attending the staff meeting. She said that she will stay in the room and watch a movie on TV. With that I said my goodbyes and teleported to the meeting room's door. I prepared myself and waited for Nezu to call me into the room. Nezu, now everyone, I would like for you to meet the new teacher's assistant. Can you come in and introduce yourself now? I shifted into my demon form quickly, and with that I opened the door and entered. No one's POV, for as the door opened, the staff that didn't know 𝗧𝗲𝗧 was on edge. He was too tall for the door, so he had to duck his head under the frame, and once he got into the room he caused the entire staff to tense up because of his scary-looking appearance. 𝗧𝗲𝗧 smiled, which showed the staff his razor-sharp golden teeth. To 𝗧𝗲𝗧, pleasure to meet you, quite a pleasure. I will be your new staff member and teacher helper to Aizawa over there. Waves to Aizawa. Nezu, that is correct. Now everyone, I would like for you to understand that 𝗧𝗪 is here because of a special circumstance. He is not a full teacher since he will be attending hero class with all might. But the most of the time he will be teaching the students in Izuku's class. Izuku, great, another problem child to the onslaught of children. Present Mike, come on, lighten up Shota, at least you can sleep more with him teaching. Izuku, actually never mind, welcome to the team Al. 13 𝗧𝗪, why thank you. 𝗬𝗵𝗲 𝗧𝗪, do you happen to have any teaching experience? 𝗧𝗪, well, I was a student before I came here, but I was being repressed due to my abilities, so I couldn't achieve academic excellence. But other than that, I believe I am fully capable of teaching students based on my knowledge and abilities. Midnight, wait, you said you were a student? So how old are you? 𝗧𝗪, well, I would be 16. Why? Midnight, nothing, just asking. 7 Snipe, 𝗵𝗵𝗲, are you sure you were just asking and not asking for other reasons? Midnight, I will not confirm nor deny that statement. 1 Vlad King, well, I welcome you to the team 𝗧𝗪. 𝗧𝗪, thank you Vlad. Is it okay if I call you that? Vlad King, it's fine, but you can call me 𝗂𝗑𝗫. 𝗧𝗪, will do. With that they continue to ask questions and 𝗧𝗪 answers them. With that the meeting continues for the next hour, which is a more generalized meeting. Eventually the meeting ends and everyone leaves besides Nezu and 𝗧𝗪. 𝗧𝗪, Nezu, before I leave I have to tell you something that happened today. Nezu, are you referring to the incident during lunch? 𝗧𝗪, yes, that is what I am referring to. Nezu, don't worry 𝗧𝗪. Those students will no longer be here since they were a part of the current 1A class, which Izuku expelled all of them for not having potential. So they won't return and you don't have to help with a class 2A next year. To 𝗧𝗪, thank you Nezu. Nezu, now with that, why don't you run back to your room and pick up dinner from lunch rush to bring back to Toga? 𝗧𝗪, understood, would you like for me to get you something as well? Nezu, nope, I got my dinner right here. Pulls wedge of cheese from a lunchbox. 18 𝗧𝗪, well, I wish you a good night. Teleports to cafeteria. 𝗧𝗪's POV. I got to the cafeteria and I see lunch rush preparing our food, so I greet him and wait patiently for the food to be ready. Lunch rush, okay, here's yours and Toga's food. 𝗧𝗪, so what is it? Lunch rush, well, I wanted to test what food's prepared for you that you would like better, so I am starting with just uncooked meat before moving on to more advanced foods. You responded well to the plain cooked flesh and jambalaya, so I gave you a raw arm since I want to see whether raw meats or cooked meats have better or worse flavor with your condition. I know it looks disgusting, but if you tell me once you're finished it whether you like it or not, I will adjust future meal plans. 16 𝗧𝗪, okay, I will certainly give you my honest opinion when I return. Lunch rush. For Toga, me and Recovery Girl worked together to create a form of synthetic BLD, which is what I gave her. She also has some 𝗬𝗁, but the synthetic BLD is still in testing, so it might not be as flavored, so tell her to give me the opinion on it so we can adjust the flavor. 𝗧𝗪, I will tell her. Thank you for the food and I hope you have a good night. Waves by lunch rush. You to 𝗧𝗪. Waves back. With that I teleport back to my room and see Toga watching an old Disney movie. 𝗧𝗪, I'm back and I brought food. Toga, finally, it felt like so long and I was so hungry. What's for dinner? 𝗧𝗪, well, I got an arm and you got 𝗬𝗁 and a synthetic BLD. Toga, synthetic BLD. 𝗧𝗪, yeah, lunch rush and Recovery Girl created this, but keep in mind it might not taste as good, but they can get it flavored later. Toga, time to dig in. She started to eat the 𝗬𝗁 first before moving on to the BLD. I took a bite out of the arm like a chicken drumstick and it was surprisingly good. Besides the BLD dripping down my chin and the crunch of the bones as my tear crushed it with each bite. I looked up and I saw Toga finishing her 𝗬𝗁. She started to quickly drink her BLD from her cup and she looked up at me. She had BLD on her face with a small bit on her teeth. We locked eyes and we quickly looked away while blushing. To lighten the mood I bit off the hand that was on the arm and turned to her. 𝗧𝗪, hey Toga. Toga, what 𝗧𝗪, do you need a hand cleaning up? 3 Toga, did you just make a dad joke? 𝗧𝗪, perhaps. For Toga, laughs, oh my god, that was so corny. 6 𝗧𝗪, laughs, it was good, you have to give me that. Toga, fine, I guess it wasn't that bad. Once we finished eating, we talked for a bit and I explained to her my powers and showed her my demon appearance. She was confused since she thought my human form was my normal form, but I had to explain that it was my demon form that was normal. She insisted on how I should be in my demon form when it's just me and her, since she preferred it since it was hot, and that alone made my heart flutter and my knees weak. After that we then decided to get on the couch and watch a movie. We decided to watch a pre-Quirk movie called Captain America: The First Avenger, which reminded me of All Might. We cuddled on the couch for warmth and I manifested a blanket over us. I watched the movie, and as I looked down near the end of the movie I saw Toga sleeping peacefully on my chest, so I turned off the TV and carefully picked her up. I removed the covers in the bed and I slid her underneath it. After she was tucked in I changed into some sleepwear and got under the blankets with her and we fell asleep. 2 time skip for the next 10 months. Me and Toga repeated our training and studying. Toga gained her sanity due her drinking more of the synthetic BLD, which made her less dependent on it. She got her BLD flavored and she really enjoys the strawberry flavored BLD. With me I have been eating more of the flesh. Eating it raw or cooked it still tastes good, but I prefer to eat that jambalaya or spicy foods with the raw flesh. But I also learned how I can still eat normal foods, so every once in a while I have a nice piece of steak, chicken, or venison to spice things up. I also took over 𝗵𝘃𝗵𝗲 radio show whenever he was on patrol and made myself a bit of a reputation because it turns out that I am a natural at broadcasting. Who would have thought, right? 5. We both strengthened our bodies and Toga finally caught up on her schoolwork. She's not perfect at her classwork, but she is around average. It's about to be the time for the entrance exams, so in our free times we would have small nights where we eat out and do small things like go see a movie or go for walks together. Whenever I am around her I feel a certain way and I think that I love her. But that's not important now since it's time for the exams. I wished her luck on the written portion and told her to meet me at the viewing area after her test. I made my way to the auditorium since I will be there to help 𝗵𝘃𝗵𝗲 and his speech about the practical exam. 𝗧𝗵𝗲's POV. I was waiting on the stage near 𝗵𝘃𝗵𝗲 and we watched the students file into the seats. I was in my human form to not scare the students and I was wearing my normal crimson suit. I acted as a sort of manager over 𝗵𝘃𝗵𝗲 since he can get crowds rowdy at times, and it was my job to step in if things got out of hand. 𝗵𝘃𝗵𝗲, what's up you? Candidates, thanks for tuning in to me, your school DJ. Come on and let me hear you. Students, silence. Maybe my job might be a lot easier. Guess I get to stand up here. Mind as well play my phone and keep myself entertained while he describes the test. For 𝗵𝘃𝗵𝗲, keeping it mellow. That's fine, I'll skip to the main show. Let's talk about how this practical exam is gonna go down. Are you ready? Students, silence. 𝗵𝘃𝗵𝗲. Like your application said, today you rockin' boys and girls will be out there conducting 10-minute mock battles in super hip urban settings. My friends, after I drop the mic here you'll head to your specified battle center. Sound good? Students, yet more silence. 𝗵𝘃𝗵𝗲. Okay, let's check out your targets. There are 3 types of villains in every battle center. You'll earn points based on their level of difficulties, so you'll better choose wisely. Your goal is to use your quirk to raise your score by spreading these faux villains like a mid-song guitar solo. But check it, make sure you're keeping things heroic. Attacking other examinees is a no you dig. With that a student sits up and asks a question. Excuse me sir, but I have a question. 𝗵𝘃𝗵𝗲, hit me. 2. On the printout you've listed 4 types of villains, not 3. With all respect, if this is an error on official materials, it is shameful. We are exemplary students. We expect the best from Japan's most notable school. A mistake such as this won't do. Additionally, you up there in red points to me. You've been up there the entire time playing on your cellular device. Stop that. If you can't bother to take this seriously, leave. You're distracting the rest of us. 2. With that I was slightly stunned. He is applying for this school and has the audacity of calling someone out who is on stage. I got over my minor shock and decided to teach this boy some manners. I know that I'm not an adult, but at least I am matured and not acting like an entitled brat. Technically, I would have authority over him since I'm a teacher's assistant. 𝗧𝗵𝗲𝗧, watch your tongue boy or you might just lose it. Starts to smile sinisterly and eyes glow a faint red. With that the boy flinches back. 𝗵𝘃𝗵𝗲𝗧, examinee 711, Thanks for calling in with your request. The fourth villain is worth 0 points. That guy's just an obstacle we'll be throwing in your way. There's one in every battle center. Think of it as a hurdle you should try to avoid. It's not that it can't be beaten, but there's no point. I recommend that my listeners try to ignore it and focus on the ones top of the charts. Thank you very much. Please continue. Bo's present mic. That's all I got for you today, so good luck and go plus ultra kiddos. Now my friend here will be dismissing you to your centers. With that I walk to the podium and start directing people by their battle centers to be dismissed so that I can keep order. After everyone leaves, I make my way to the viewing area and I happen to pass by the gates of Battle Center B. I noticed a girl who appeared to be panicking over the test, so I decided to go calm her down. As I was walking, I was stopped by a hand on my shoulder by the boy who rudely interrupted present mic. She looks like she's trying to focus on the trials ahead. What are you going to do? Distract her and ruin her chances to succeed? Not on my watch. 𝗧𝗲𝗏, what is your name, boy? It's 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, and who are you calling a boy? You look just the same age as me. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, well, 𝗧𝗏, you are applying for the first year, so you are probably 15 or 14. I am 16, meaning that if I was a student, I would be a current second year, or your future senpai. So shut up and get rid of that entitled personality because it might just give you a lot of trouble in the future. 𝗧𝗏 flinches back. Tell me your name so that I can inform the teachers about this disrespectful attitude. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, my name does not matter now, for I have a feeling that we will be meeting each other real soon. Anyways, the staff won't care, so don't waste your time. Now if you'll excuse me, I have to go calm her down since she appears to be panicking. Walks away towards the girl. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, excuse me miss, but I noticed you and how you are panicking. I just came over here to tell you that it's alright and you should calm down. Thank you. I was thinking how I might not do good since my quirk isn't combat related. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, preposterous. Just use your noggin and make sure that you keep yourself calm and collected, and you should pull through. Thanks, that really helped me. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, well, that's good. Now if you'll excuse me, I have somewhere to be. Okay, bye. Waves. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, bye and good luck. Waves before walking away. Oh, I forgot to ask him his name. Once I got to the viewing room, I was met with a hug by Toga. She said she thinks that she did well on her written exam. I nodded and transformed into my normal demon form and sat down so we can watch the exam through the screens. Most of the staff learned about my human and demon forms, so they do not get confused anymore. When present mic said go for center B, I noticed how only the girl rushed forward. While most people were confused, present mic said to go since there is no countdowns in a real battle. With that, everyone booked it and started to destroy the villains left and right. I kept note of the quirks and monitored people's progress while keeping watch for people that seemed of interest. After a short amount of time, Nezu decided to release the 0-pointer, which I thought was too easy to defeat. It started its rampage and eventually started to go too close to the students. 𝗬𝗵𝗲, man, that 0-pointer is really doing a lot of damage to the city. All Might, don't you think it's getting too close to the students? Midnight, yeah, I think you should call it off. Nezu types on keyboard, slight problem. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, what's the problem? Nezu, well, the robot in Center B is not responding and can't be shut down. All Might, what about the students, will they get hurt? Nezu, it's a possibility. All Might, can you go deal with it? 𝗧𝗏𝗏, actually Nezu, can I go stop it? I need to stretch my legs. Nezu, okay 𝗧𝗏𝗏, you can go, we'll monitor you from here. Toga, bye, I'll see you in a couple minutes. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, bye my dear Toga. I teleported there in my human form to deal with this issue. The students were backed into a corner in fear with the robot towering over them. I cracked my knuckles before snapping, which caused the students to teleport out of the city and a red portal appear underneath the robot. From the red portal came giant tentacles. I smiled like a madman and my eyes became static with the same symbols as before appearing around me. I controlled the tentacles with my hands and wrapped it around the robot before balling my fist and causing it to explode. I controlled the tentacles with my hands and wrapped it around the robot before balling my fist and causing it to explode. After that, a malicious smile was plastered onto my face and present mic came over the speakers to announce the exam finishing. After that, a malicious smile was plastered onto my face and present mic came over the speakers to announce the exam finishing. As I was about to teleport to the office, I noticed the girl from before was trapped underneath some rubble, so I teleported her to the medical area with Recovery Girl since she was injured. After that, I teleported back to the viewing room and sat back down in my seat. I noticed everyone besides Toga had a shocked expression with their jaws extended in disbelief. Alastair, Toga, I have returned. Toga, that was so cool. Is that your strongest attack? Alastair, no, that is one of my more simple attacks. Snipe, that is a simple attack. 𝗵𝗵𝗲, thank God he's on our side. 2 midnight, great, now I'm turned on. 45 Izuku. Alastair, I'm going to have to teach you something called self-restraint. For the rest of the staff was shocked and scared due to my immense power. I have told them about it, but I never showed the real demonstration of my powers. After they got over my power, we all talked about noticeable quirks and people within the exams. Then we tallied all of the scores to send the letters of who got in and who didn't. It would be 2 weeks before the letters were sent, so we had time to prepare for the school year. Oh, this school year will be very interesting, so stay tuned. Alastair's POV. Gore warning, it's been a couple of weeks since the entrance exam and we found out that Toga got accepted into one. Toga was excited that we were in the same class, but I reminded her that we will not be distracted by each other in class, at least not that much. About us, after the exam I confessed my feelings to Toga and it turns out that she had the same feelings as me, so we started to date. At first it was awkward since we never been in a relationship, but we became more comfortable with each other. Today we are going on a date to celebrate her passing the exam, so we went to a nice mall to hang out with us, going to go to a dinner later. Alastair, so what first, my dear? Toga, I don't really know. Let's just look around and if we see a store we like we can go in. Alastair, sounds like a plan. We walked around a bit and Toga kept dragging me into stores that she said had cute things that was either clothing for me or her. I also bought her a little stuffed teddy bear. As we were walking back we saw a villain attack. The villain appeared to be a male blonde with a sadistic smirk on his face. He was wearing a red tank top and was covered in large muscles. He was fighting 2 pro heroes that were protecting some civilians. I believe they were called water hose or something along the lines. I see them struggling to fight against the monster of man they are trying to protect the civilians from. To Toga, Alastair, we got to help them, they aren't gonna last long against that thing. Alastair, go to you and get Nezu and All Might. While you do that I will deal with this brute. Opens portal to you. Toga, bye, I'll see you in a bit. Waves before walking through portal. As I go to intervene in the fight I see the man brutally defeat both of them with a muscle-filled punch. He stands over the 2 bodies and proceeds to bash the already dead bodies into a paste of flesh and bones. With every hit you can hear the crunch of ones with a red mist spraying into the air. The only thing that remains is the bits of clothes that they were wearing, but even that was stained with blood and flesh. The man picks up a almost destroyed skull from one of the pair and laughs triumphantly while crushing it in his palm. That was so easy. I wanted a bigger fight, but I guess you have to take what you can get. Now on to you people before any more heroes show up. Alastair, not if I have to say anything about it. Or you shrimp. Stares ominously down at me. Alastair, I will be what some may call a nice cold can of whoop, but shifts into demon form 1. Huh, let's see you do any better than those turds. Points to BLD mound. Alastair, before we fight can I have your name so I know who my first villain I beat is? Call me Muscular, but it won't matter since it's the last name you will ever hear. Alastair, call me Alastair or the radio demon, whatever you prefer. Now can we hurry this up? I have to return to my girlfriend. Starts to walk towards him. Muscular, you're approaching me. Instead of running away you're coming right towards me. 5 Alastair, well I can't beat the tea out of you without getting closer. 5 Muscular, then come as close as you like. Gathers muscle onto his arms and gets ready to throw a punch. For once we stand face to face with each other we both stop. He then reels his arm backward and throws the first punch. With that I do nothing and the punch connects to my head which snaps it backwards, so the back of my head is touching my back with my neck at an painfully awkward position. Muscular, man for being so cocky he was weak. Now on to you. Points to civilians in corner. Cracking sounds can be heard and Muscular views my still standing body. With my head slowly fixing itself. My permanent smile starts to stretch even wider across my entire face. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, was that supposed to hurt? Man, that punch was pretty weak if I do say so myself. Muscular, you should be dead, I saw your neck backwards. How are you doing that 𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏? To 𝗧𝗲𝗧, well, how can I die from a weak punch? With that, Muscular gets enraged and starts to gather more muscle mass and punches me repeatedly. I just sit there and tank all of the hits without moving a single inch from my spot. His attacks create a large dust cloud and strong winds. After the wind and dust clear, he sees me just standing there without a single scratch or even a tear in my suit. I just smile wider and glare at him, while in my demon form I am towering over him. He looked exhausted from attacking me and was panting while sweating. 3 𝗧𝗲𝗧, my turn. With that simple phrase, I see him sweat drop as my eyes start to turn into bright red radio dials and as my already wide smile gets even wider. Painfully loud static that could even rival present Mike's screaming starts to surround us. I see his ears start to bleed as he is frozen in fear as I pull my fist back and prepare to deliver a blow to his face. I slam my fist towards his face and before it makes contact I stop it. Muscular opens eyes to see my fist in his face. Why not gonna hit me? Blaster. Oh, I will. Muscular. Mother 𝗬𝗏𝗏, with that I flick him with my finger, which gives him a large nasty gash on the side of his face due to my clawed fingers, and sends him launching into the sky at faster speeds than Gran Torino. With him gone, I turn my face towards the horrified civilians. So I snapped my fingers and summoned multiple shadow doubles to start treating their wounds and asking if they were okay. By the time I finished healing them, multiple police cars, including a car that had All Might and Nezu. Once Nezu gets out, a small boy with a spike hat also runs out of the car. Nezu, so 𝗧𝗲𝗧, can you explain what happened? 𝗧𝗲𝗧 describes the series of events. Where are my parents? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, now who are you, little fella? My name's Kota Izumi. Now where are my parents? Are they okay? 𝗧𝗲𝗧 looks at lump of flesh and be right back. I then walk to the separate piles and take off my gloves before placing my palm in the mound. I channel my healing powers and slowly the piles start to glow a bright red. Once the piles look like they are radiating a red energy, I snap my fingers and a blinding red light flashes before both of the heroes are returned to their original state. Of course, after being resurrected, they still think that Muscular is still there, so they get into a battle stance. Once I explained the situation of what happened, they broke down in tears and hugged Kota while thanking me. The little boy asked what my name was and I told him just to call me 𝗧𝗲𝗧. What really got me was when Kota called me a hero for saving his parents. This made me feel proud of myself and glad that I finally made my dream of being a hero come true. I give them a slight wave before returning to a awestruck Nezu, All Might, police officers, and Detective 𝗬𝗏𝗁 who just arrived. For no one's POV, 𝗧𝗲𝗧, now may I be able to return to you? Nezu, sure, you go first and we will catch up. He did it, he actually has the powers of bringing people back from the dead. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, bye, Nezu, see you back at school. Teleports away All Might. Nezu, you saw the same thing I did, right? Nezu, yes. I think we just found out that 𝗧𝗲𝗧 is overpowered. For All Might, good thing he's on our side. I don't even think I could fight him even though he healed me. I mean, he sent that muscle villain flying with a single flick of his finger. Nezu, may God have mercy on those who try to hurt Toga. 3 All Might nods head in agreement. Nezu, so where is this criminal? All Might, didn't young 𝗧𝗲𝗧 say he flicked him away? 𝗬𝗏𝗁, I have a feeling he forgot to capture him. All Might, I will talk with him later about the matter. Can you just tell your men about him still being on the loose? 𝗧𝗲𝗧's POV. As I returned back to my room, I saw Toga just sitting on the bed looking at her phone. So I shift back into my demon form. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, Toga, I'm back. Toga, oh hey Al. Did you beat that villain? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, yeah, I flicked him and sent him flying away. Toga, wait, flicked? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, yes, I launched him with one finger. Toga, wow, you beat and arrested your first villain while on our date. With that, a realization dawns on me. I forgot to capture the villain. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, silence. Toga, 𝗧𝗧𝗧, why are you quiet? 𝗧𝗧𝗧, no reason at all. Toga, you did make sure he was captured, right? 𝗧𝗧𝗧, Silence Toga. 𝗧𝗲's captured right. 𝗧𝗲, perhaps. 1 Toga. So let me get this straight. You beat a strong villain that murdered pro-heroes and you forgot to capture him. 𝗧𝗲, yes. Looks down in defeat Toga. 𝗧𝗲, next time please remember to capture the villain. Gives him a glare. 𝗧𝗲, why a steer? 12 Toga. Now here's what you're going to do. First you have to get ready for tomorrow since it's the first day of school. Second, you're sleeping on the couch tonight and not the bed with me. Third, I will be the one to pick the movie tonight and not you. Smirks in victory. 𝗧𝗲, such cruelty. Grabs heart dramatically with that I prepared for tomorrow by reading over who's going to be in class 1A. That girl from the exam, the brother of 𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗲, some great boy, invisible girl, and for a split second I felt the world around me distort. I felt nothing but pure unbridled rage reading that Bakugo got in. How can he be a hero? Heroes don't tell people to 𝐒𝐻𝐁𝗵𝗆. Heroes don't bully the weak. So how in the holy hell did he get in? Calm down 𝗧𝗲, you're a new man. Breath in and out. It's fine. I can just put him through hell in class. Yes, that's what I will do. Chuckle. Oh, this will be very entertaining. 𝗧𝗲's POV. 2 Today's the first day of school for the new students and I guess it's time for me to help Aizawa. Hopefully he doesn't just sleep all day. I got dressed and woke up Toga, which should be simple but it's not. I have to splash water in her face just to wake her up. Once she managed to get dressed, I practically dragged her to the cafeteria and we got some food. Toga. Yawn. 𝗧𝗲, why do we have to wake up so early? School doesn't start for another 3 hours. 𝗧𝗲, Toga, you do realize that it starts in Czech's clock 30 minutes. Toga. Eyes open wide. Oh my god, why didn't you tell me? 𝗧𝗲, saying this out loud, we should probably hurry. With that we both down our toast and bacon before I opened a portal for us. We were the first ones there, so Toga sat in one of the front seats and started playing on her phone while I sat at a side table that was seated in the corner of the front next to the main teacher's desk. We both waited for another 10 minutes as the students started to file in. I was organizing the papers on my desk and I looked up since there was a commotion and my smile almost faltered seeing Bakugo with his feet on a desk while arguing with Ida. I knew I have to step in since Bakugo might turn physical if Ida gets on his nerves. 1 𝗧𝗲, hey you two. Knock it off. Ida, what are you doing here? Bakugo, who are you? Smiles. 𝗧𝗲, all your questions will be answered soon enough. Bakugo, what's up with that cryptic question? You think you're better than us or something? 1 𝗧𝗲, I said take a seat and your questions will be answered. Eyes glow a faint red and my smile strains with that I see Ida rush to a seat and Bakugo gets his feet off the desk and he sits straight. 𝗧𝗲, thank you. More people come in and takes a seat, but they start to talk amongst themselves. Stretching my arms I look at the door and I see a strange yellow caterpillar slowly inching its way across the floor and into the doorframe. Finally, Aizawa's here. Aizawa, if you're just here to make friends then you can pack up your stuff and leave. Welcome to you, hero course. Unzip sleeping bag. It took 8 seconds before you all shut up. That's not gonna work. Time is precious and rational students would understand that. Author's note. 𝗧𝗲 doesn't know all of their names but he is describing them based on who's talking and who he knows. Invisible girl. Who is he? Guy with big lips. Must be some kind of pro. 3-tail guy. But he looks so worn out. What's this guy's deal? 𝗧𝗲, the deal is that he is your teacher. Aizawa. That's right, now everyone put on these and head outside. Points to gym clothes on his desk labeled with names. We will be doing a quirk assessment test. Round face. A quirk assessment test. What about orientation? Aizawa. If you want to make it to the big leagues then we don't want to waste time on a pointless ceremony. So we will be starting off. I will meet you there. Gets in sleeping bag and rolls away. To everyone. What just happened? 𝗧𝗲, well you heard him go and change. Toga, let's go meet Aizawa. Toga. Runs to 𝗧𝗲. Grabs her hand and teleports away. We arrived at the field where we could see Aizawa rolling towards. I snapped Toga's uniform into some gym clothes so we just talked while waiting for the class. Eventually they came out as me and Toga were in a heated rock-paper-scissors battle. She won after we tied 4 times. To 𝗧𝗲, now that everyone's here let's get started. Kid with grapes on his head. Hey, why aren't you in uniform? 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏. Well, that's because I will be your teacher's assistant for this year, so basically a second teacher. So that means I don't have to do this test since he's already seen my powers. 𝐈𝐧𝐿. Before we start, I wanted to say that the person who scores the least will be immediately expelled, so do your best. With that, me and Toga smirk since we don't want to laugh out loud. We look around and see everyone's faces pale. Oh, this will be fun. Time skip 𝗧𝗏. Now the last person is a 𝗬𝗏 𝐒𝐩𝐁𝐿. 𝗬𝗏. I just got here and now I'm getting kicked out. Sad invisible girl noises for 𝗧𝗏. Just kidding about that expulsion thing. That was just a logical ruse so that you each do the best you possibly can. I see a wave of relief appear through everyone's face. Even though I couldn't see it, I can tell that 𝐒𝐩𝐁𝐿 was the most relieved. 𝗧𝗏. He totally would have expelled them if they didn't show potential. 𝗧𝗏. The first person is Katsuki Bakugo. I see him smirk and my permanent smile strains while my hand clenches into a fist. I breath in to calm myself down, with Toga walking over and giving me a hug since she knows of my history with Bakugo. 𝗧𝗏. Now that's out of the way, it's time for 𝗧𝗏 here to teach. Don't wake me up unless someone's dead. Seals himself in his sleeping bag. 𝗧𝗏. Thanks 𝗧𝗏. Now I will be doing a short 5-minute interview with everyone just so that I can learn a little bit about each of you. I need everyone to go hit the showers and meet back in the classroom in 5 minutes. Everyone. Okay, as everyone else walked to the showers, I manifested a uniform for Toga so she could change. She gave me a quick peck on the cheek before running to the locker room with everyone else. I blush lightly and I hoist the sleeping teacher over my shoulder and teleport us to class. Once we get there, I prop 𝗧𝗏 into a corner so he can sleep. I manifest a clipboard, pencil, and a nice chair. I sit in the chair and wait for people to come in. After about 10 minutes, everyone finally returns after changing. 𝗧𝗏. Now that you are all here, you all should start to hurry in the changing room since 𝗧𝗏 wants you to be quick. Moving forward, it's interview time. I will have one student in the classroom at a time, so everyone wait in the hall. When I call for the next person, you will enter and I will ask your quirk, name, and reason for being a hero. After that, you may return to the hallway and wait on the other side. Am I understood? Everyone. Yes, sir. Leaves to the hallway. 𝗧𝗏. Alright, first person. Time skip 𝗬𝗁𝐻𝐿 Uraraka, quirk, 0 gravity. Reason for being a hero. Wants to earn money so that her poor yet loving family can live a comfortable life without fear of financial hardship. With her quirk, she can help with the family busyness. 𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏 quirk. Engine. Reason for being a hero. A part of the 𝗕𝗏 family which produced many successful pro-heroes. Was inspired by Tensei to become a hero and save people like his brother. Shoto Todoroki quirk, half cold and half hot. Reason for being a hero. He didn't respond to this question clearly. I believe that he wanted to be a hero to prove to Endeavor that he can be a hero without using his fire side. Ijiro Kirishima quirk, hardening. Reason for being a hero. He was a timid boy in middle school. But he learned how to be more courageous, and he wants to inspire people to be more confident in themselves due to him being inspired by Mina when she tricked a villain into going the wrong direction. Tsuyu quirk, frog. 3 Reason for being a hero. Wants to be a hero for her little siblings and make people feel comfortable towards people with animal-like quirks. Momo Yaoyorozu quirk, creation. Reason for being a hero. Coming from a wealthy family, she wants to prove to everyone that she is more than just her family name. She is happy to use her quirk for good instead of just using it to make things for people's greed. Minoru Mineta quirk, pop-off. Reason for being a hero. His short stature caused him to be teased. He used to be a major pervert, but he realized that him being a pervert won't get any girls. So he is dialing it back on the perverseness so that he can use his quirk for good instead of being teased that he will use it for not good things. Author's note: Mineta will be not as a perv in this story. 15 Denki Kaminari quirk, electrification. Reason for being a hero. His quirk fries his brain when overused, so he wants to train his quirk so that he is not stupid when using his quirk. He wants to help people despite him mainly prioritizing his social life over his academic studies. Kyoka Jiro 1 quirk, earphone jack. Reason for being a hero. Even though she came from a family of musicians, her dream was to become a hero so that she can dedicate her life into helping other people. 𝗵𝗃𝐻𝗵𝗆 Tokoyami quirk, Dark shadow reason for being a hero. Despite his dark and emo persona, he is a kind person who wants to save other people. His unique quirk and appearance gave him some ridicule when he was younger, but he wants to be a light within a shadow for some people. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 quirk. Acid reason for being a hero. Was bullied for her unique appearance. She wants to prove that people with quirks that change their appearance can become heroes. 𝗬𝗓𝐢𝐴𝐵𝗆 quirk. Navel laser reason for being a hero. Was bullied for having his lasers leaking out of his navel. He lived an isolated childhood before he got his support gear, which regulated his quirk. He wants to help people and be a shining star that people can look up to. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗍𝗔 quirk. Dupli arms reason for being a hero. His unique appearance caused him to be discriminated against. Despite his intimidating stature, he has a kind heart and wears a mask so other people do not get frightened by his face. He wants to show how people with mutation quirks can be heroes despite their appearance. 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗍𝗪 quirk. Tape reason for being a hero. With his tape dispenser arms he was teased a bit. He wants to use his quirk for capturing villains rather than being used as just a tool to tape things. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗍𝗪 quirk. Tail reason for being a hero. Due to his quirk having no special abilities besides from being a tail, he was bullied for it. He wants to help people along with inspiring people with mutation quirks that they can also be heroes. 𝗂𝗁𝗄𝐻 quirk. Ani voice reason for being a hero. Wants to overcome his shyness and wants to make his mom proud of him by being a hero. 𝗬𝗓𝗪𝗄𝐻𝗵𝗄 quirk. Sugar rush reason for being a hero. He wants to use his quirk for good and make his family of bakers proud of him. 𝗬𝗏𝗪𝗄𝐻𝗵𝗄 quirk. Invisibility reason for being a hero. Her quirk makes her permanently invisible, and she feels like she is invisible and nothing else. She wants to prove that she is there and not just invisible. The second to last person was Toga, but I didn't interview her since I already knew her, so we just talked about how we have nothing to do later. Anyways, I finished interviewing the last person and I realized that I have yet to interview Bakugo. Great, this is gonna be a fun experience. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, alright, final person, please come in. Bakugo, finally it took you long enough. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, sai so name please. Bakugo, it's Katsuki Bakugo UDMN extra. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, so what's your reason for being a hero? It's probably going to be that he can be the #1 hero and be better than everyone's. Bakugo, I want to be a hero to be the #1 hero. 𝗧𝗪𝗧. And there it is, Bakugo, but also to honor an old friend of mine's promise. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, could you possibly elaborate on that? Bakugo, well, I had a friend of mine who was quirkless. I wasn't exactly the nicest of people to him since I thought he looked down on me. He went missing a couple of months ago and is presumed dead. I didn't realize that I actually cared for the DMN nerd until he was gone. The last thing I ever told him, Sai, was something that I wished I hadn't say. I have been feeling nothing but guilt and regret ever since he was missing. His dream was to become a hero and I ruined his dreams over nothing. Starts to tear up. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, do you truly mean everything you said? Bakugo, why yes I do. If I could I would give everything in the world just for the DMN nerd to come back. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, if he was in front of you right now, what would you say to him? Bakugo, I would tell him that I was sorry for everything. For treating him bad, for hurting him, for not being there for him when he lost his parents. I want to be friends again with him and I want to help him become a hero. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, Sai, this is a lot to process, man, you really F up Hakaken. Bakugo, yeah, I guess I did. Hey wait, a god DMN second. Grabs my collar. How do you know that name? 𝗧𝗪𝗧, if you would release me I can explain. With that he lets me go. I snap my fingers and show him my old appearance. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, I thought you would realize your friend Kaken. Bakugo, 𝗧𝗪𝗧, is that you? Tears up. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, yes it is. But I go by 𝗧𝗪𝗧 now. Bakugo, where were you? 𝗧𝗪𝗧, it's a long story. Bakugo, I have to spare, so don't go with that bullshit. I breath in and explain to him everything. Of how I jumped and how I am here now. I left out the parts of how I got my powers, but I explained to him what happened since that day. I even mentioned the part of how I am with Toga. He starts to break down since he did cause me to kill myself, and if it wasn't for me getting my powers that I would be gone. I pull him into a hug and tell him that it's okay. I forgave him the moment he confessed to being regretful. If he means what he says, then he will change, even if it takes him a while. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, Bakugo, I forgive you. For everything. What happened in the past will stay there, so let's start anew. Bakugo wipes tears thanks 𝗂𝗵𝗲. Stands up and walks to door 𝗧𝗪. Hey Bakugo. Bakugo stops and turns his head. What? 𝗧𝗪, tell auntie to prepare dinner enough for 5 tonight. I will visit with a guest. Bakugo, I will do that. With that he calls the class in and I dismiss them for the day. Everyone left and Toga stayed to help me clean up my papers for the combat training tomorrow. 𝗧𝗪, Toga dear. Toga, yes 𝗧𝗪, do you want to go to dinner tonight? Sure. 𝗧𝗪, well, to the Bakugo household. Toga, why? I thought you hated that guy. 𝗧𝗪, well, in his interview he said he was sorry for everything. I told him that it was me Izuku and said that we should start to amend things. I also wanted to visit and clear things with his parents since our families were close before my parents' death. Toga, okay, we can do that. But only on one condition. Smirks 𝗧𝗪, oh really, what's that condition? Smirks back Toga, 1 kiss please. Points to lips 𝗧𝗪, anything for you darling. I pull her into a kiss and we end up making out in the classroom for a couple of minutes before being interrupted by a loud unzipping sound from the back of the classroom. Aizawa, if you two are done in there it's time to leave. Gets out of sleeping bag 4. We both blushed profusely due to Aizawa hearing us and I opened a portal to our room. We got in the room and started to get ready for dinner. Toga wore some jean shorts and a hoodie along with a choker and her iconic messy hair bus. I wore some dress pants, with a white undershirt and a red vest with my normal bow tie and some black gloves in my human form. I wore some dress pants, with a white undershirt and a red vest with my normal bow tie and some black gloves in my human form. 3. We looked ourselves in the mirror and decided that we were ready, so I teleported us to outside of the Bakugo residence. 2. We looked ourselves in the mirror and decided that we were ready, so I teleported us to outside of the Bakugo residence. We looked at each other and she gave me a small peck on the cheek for good luck. After that I knocked my hand against the door and prepared for a memorable dinner. Bakugo's POV, it was after school and I was still processing what happened while walking home. Turns out the demon nerd's alive but he looks different. Well, he did get new special powers, so it's probably from that. I couldn't help but to smile at meeting him. The old hag is gonna be so surprised. I got home and placed my shoes at the door. Bakugo, old hag, I am home. Mitsuki, who you calling old hag, you brat? Bakugo, hey dad. Waves at 𝗵𝗃, hey there kiddo. Waves back, how was your first day? Bakugo, it was alright. We had to do a stupid quirk assessment test. But of course I scored high on it. Masaru, that's good, anything else happen? Bakugo, oh yeah, I invited someone over for dinner. Mitsuki, who? Bakugo, 𝗧𝗪 and his girlfriend. Mitsuki, who's 𝗧𝗪? Bakugo, oh yeah, it's Izuku's new name. Once I said that name they both stopped what they were doing. I saw that my old man had dropped his newspaper he was reading. Masaru, Bakugo, you know it's not good to joke like that. He's dead and it's a very sensitive topic to your mother. 3. Bakugo, I'm not joking. Just make enough food for 5 people. He should show up soon. Masaru, Katsuki, you better be telling the truth. This is nothing to make light of. Time skip. Knock knock knock. Bakugo, I got it. I opened the door and I saw him with his girlfriend, which was one of my classmates. Demon the nerd has some good taste in his women. Bakugo, come in, the old hag should be finishing dinner soon. Toga, good because I'm starved. 𝗧𝗪, man, it's been a while since I visited. 𝗧𝗪's POV, as I said that I turned around and saw a skeptical Masaru and Mitsuki. They might not recognize me due to my new human form, but I will explain it to them later. 𝗧𝗪, good evening, I hope we didn't intrude. Mitsuki, hey Brad, I thought you said that Izuku would be coming. Bakugo, yeah he is. Points to me right there. Masaru, is that really you? 𝗧𝗪, yes, he's telling the truth. I was Izuku Midoriya, although I go by 𝗧𝗪 now. Mitsuki, you better explain yourself. 𝗧𝗪, I will. But when we sit down and eat, I would rather us not have a long discussion on an empty stomach, wouldn't you say? Bakugo, DMN right. Toga, so what are we having? Mitsuki, I decided to make us some katsudon for dinner tonight. Toga, yay, my favorite. With that she starts to do an adorable little victory dance. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, now Toga, let's not get too hasty. The food still has to cook. 𝗵𝘃𝗍𝗂, he's right, dinner should be ready in another 10 minutes. Bakugo, it's fine, we can go chill in my room until it's ready. Masaru, that's okay. I have to help your mother anyways. With that we go to Bakugo's room and just play on our phones and occasionally talking with each other. We hear 𝗵𝘃𝗍𝗂 call us that dinner's ready and me and Bakugo watches Toga does a mad dash down the stairs and into the dining room. We both go down and take our seats and start to eat. To 𝗵𝘃𝗍𝗂, so 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗵𝗲, mind explaining what happened? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, about what? Masaru, about everything like your disappearance, new look, and where you were. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, well get ready since what I have to tell is a long story. I then proceed to tell them about what happened. I told them about my job and residency at 𝐒𝐻𝐢𝐻𝐸, and some of my new powers. I also told them that I prefer my new human form rather than my original human form and they didn't seem to mind. I also did inform them of my normal demon form. Masaru, so you have a demon form? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, yes. Bakugo, can we see it? Toga, yeah, show them the thing now. To 𝗧𝗲𝗧, okay, but be warned it is a bit intimidating. I sigh and shift into my demon form dramatically. It replaces my current clothing and my staff appears in my hand. I also grew to my 7 feet 11 inches height, so I almost hit the ceiling. I also grew to my 7 feet 11 inches height, so I almost hit the ceiling. 10 𝗧𝗲𝗧. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, the radio demon at your service. Gives them a slight bow. I see them crane their necks upward due to my height, and for a slight second I could sense the fear in their bodies. Bakugo, DMN, that is scary. 𝗵𝘃𝗍𝗂, brat, what did I say about saying those things? His head. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, well, he's not wrong, this form is rather intimidating. Toga, oh my god, he's so hot. Masaru, wow, that really is something. 𝗵𝘃𝗍𝗂, so you're a hero now. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, 𝗧𝗲𝗧, I wouldn't call myself a hero yet since I still have a lot to learn. But I do have a license. 𝗵𝘃𝗍𝗂, well, you better be careful. After all, I already thought I lost you once and I can't bear to lose my nephew again. Toga, don't worry Mrs. Bakugo, 𝗎𝗫 is super strong. He already beat his first villain. This naturally good surprised looks from the Bakugos. Bakugo, how did you do that? 𝗵𝘃𝗍𝗂 hits his head. What did I say about using your inside voice? To me, Toga, and Masaru just watch as they argue with each other. As they are arguing, Masaru asks me a question. After their little argument, I explain to them my fight against Muscular and how I saved water hose. Masaru, so 𝗧𝗲𝗧, how did you and Toga meet? Toga, oh well, can I tell them? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, sure my dear. Toga, so get this. It all started when I stabbed him in an ally. 8 Bakugo/𝗵𝘃𝗍𝗂, wait, what? Toga, yeah, so I stabbed him and he then took me out to a cafe where we talked. I told him about my life, he told me his. He then brought me back to you, where I'm rehabilitating to be a hero now, and things just kinda happened. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, yes. During our time in 𝗎𝗲𝗄, we fell in love with each other due to us growing fond of each other while spending with each other. 𝗵𝘃𝗍𝗂, aw, that's so cute. Besides the stabbing part, plus Masaru, well, Toga, take care of our nephew. Toga, yes sir. Does a small salute too, with that we just have light conversation for the next few hours. We all look at the clock and realize that we have to go since we have school tomorrow. I change back into my human form and say goodbye to the Bakugos after promising to visit often. I open a portal for me and Toga and we leave. We arrive back in our room and we get ready for bed. We both shower, change, and finally snuggle in the bed before turning off the lights and letting ourselves get lost in the clutches of fatigue. After all, we need to be ready for tomorrow's hero training. 𝗧𝗲𝗧's POV, I tiredly opened my eyes and yawned. I sat up and stretched my back while finding the motivation to not go back to bed. I look to my right and I see Toga entangled with all the blankets. She has somehow managed to roll herself into a cocoon of blankets, with her face being the only visible thing. I got out of bed and slowly walked to the bathroom and changing out of my nightwear and manifested myself a towel which I hanged on the sink counter. I then walked into my shower and started my morning routine, which consisted of cleaning both my human and demon forms. After around 30 minutes or so I changed into my human form and snapped my normal suit on. I walked back into the bedroom and was forced with the biggest task of the morning, getting Toga ready. 5 𝗧𝗧𝗧. Toga dear, it's time to wake up. Toga, tiredly, no, let me sleep. 𝗧𝗧𝗧. Toga, it's time to wake up. Toga, 5 more minutes. 𝗧𝗧𝗧. If you don't wake up, I'm getting the water bucket. 6 Toga shoots up from bed. I'm up. 𝗧𝗧𝗧. Good, now get ready so we leave to get breakfast. Toga, fine, give me a minute. Walks into bathroom with her uniform in hand. She walks into the bathroom and I sit there on the bed. She normally takes long, so I have some time to spare. I decided to use my premonition ability to see what we have in store with us. Radio static surrounds me and my eyes become glowing red. I saw the events of today, but what really troubled me was when I looked further I saw that we would be attacked at the USJ and All Might's time to use his form would have been weakened. Interesting, the League of Villains is what they call themselves. What's this? This person has a very interesting quirk. They do seem like they have hero potential, but only with the right guidance. I will have to talk with both Nezu and All Might about this new threat, while asking if I can investigate and possibly have another person for the rehabilitation program. 2 Toga. Okay, I'm ready. I snap out of my daze and my eyes become normal with the static subsiding, with the world becoming less distorted. 𝗧𝗧𝗧. Okay, let's go then. Time skip. After breakfast, me and Toga arrive to class and get ready for today. I teleport my computer from my office onto my desk and I send an email to Nezu asking to meet with him and All Might at lunch. Slowly the other students start to arrive and they all converse within their own small groups. Toga is chatting with the other girls while the boys are in smaller groups. Sato, so who do you think will be our heroics teacher? Tokoyami, it might be Aizawa-sensei. Ida, it could be another pro hero. All Might, I am here. Everyone's besides me and Toga eyes open wide. All Might, entering the door like a normal person. With that, All Might enters the classroom and people start to overreact about him being our teacher. He stands dramatically and me and Toga both roll our eyes at his little stance. As he reached the podium, people quieted down and he stared at the class with his signature smile on his face. All Might, welcome to Heroics 101. Here you will learn all you will need to perform the task that heroes face on a daily basis. All Might, and I believe the best way to learn is to throw you right into it. So for the first lesson we will be doing battle trials. With that the class erupts in cheers. All Might, and being a hero means that you have to look the part. Hits button on a controller and suitcases pop out of the walls. These suitcases are your costumes that you submitted after being accepted here. Now hurry and get changed before heading to ground beta where the trials will be held. Does his signature laugh? The class rushed out of the room after grabbing their named suitcase and it was just me and All Might left in the room. 𝗧𝗧𝗧. Toshi, now that we are alone, I wanted to ask if you would come to Nezu's office during lunch since I have some rather important information to discuss. All Might, very well young 𝗧𝗧𝗧, I will stop by during lunch. 𝗧𝗧𝗧, excellent, now shall we head to ground beta? All Might, if it isn't a burden. 𝗧𝗧𝗧, 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗵𝗲, what wacky nonsense. Of course it is not a burden. Snaps finger and teleports them both to ground beta. They both didn't have to wait that long and we see everyone arrive together in their villain outfits. I was a bit surprised since I didn't know that Toga had given them a hero outfit design. It was her old cardigan and school uniform with some support gear. She appeared to have some knives and a tool that allowed for her to store and collect BLD. Her hair was still tied in her messy buns, and other than that she appeared to be what she looked like when I first met her. 7 All Might, great, now that everyone's here, let me discuss what we will be doing. There will be 2 teams, villains and heroes. These teams will be randomly formed and fight against each other. Now here is the scenario. Villains have placed a bomb in preparation and the heroes have a short time to stop them and the bomb. The villain team will go in and have 5 minutes to prepare for the heroes. When this time is up, the heroes can go in and will have 15 minutes to either secure the bomb by touching it or by securing the villains and wrapping them up with this capture tape. Now, is there any questions? Several hands rose up and All Might gulped. He was not expecting any questions, but since this is his first time teaching, he should have expected it. All Might points to 𝗧𝗏. Yes, young 𝗧𝗏. 𝗧𝗏, So is the bomb empty or is it filled with something? All Might. The bomb is hollow so that people with less physical strength can move the bomb. Next points to Bakugo. So is there any limit to what we can do? All Might. Well, as long as you don't harm your classmates that bad, I suppose it is fair game. Bakugo smirks. Thanks for the clarification. Small explosions in his hands. All Might. Last question, you young Ishido. Mina, can we move the bomb? All Might. Yes, you can move the bomb anywhere as long as it is within the building, so it is good if you hide the bomb to avoid it being found. Now let's pick the teams. Then we can start the battles. The teams are all the same except for 𝗧𝗪 being on his own team and Toga pairing with 𝗬𝗧𝗏. The battle trials have the same outcome as the anime, except for Bakugo and Iida versus 𝗬𝗧𝗏 and Toga time skip. Every team went except for me. Toga did surprisingly well and won the match against Bakugo by capturing Iida, borrowing his BLD to sneak behind Bakugo and perform a German suplex before capturing him, which I had to admit was a glorious sight to see. Bakugo did a slight rage but managed to calm himself. I suppose he is really trying to better himself. All Might. Now that everyone has gone, we will do one last battle before breaking off for lunch. That is a battle between everyone and young 𝗧𝗪 here. 𝗧𝗪, so that's what you have me doing, Haida. Excuse me, All Might sensei, but I don't believe that is quite fair. 3 All Might. Chuckles. Don't worry, I believe that he is more powerful than he seems. 𝗧𝗪, I am quite fine with it actually. Smile widens. All Might. Now young 𝗧𝗪 will be the hero while everyone else is a villain. So get in there and set up the bomb. Everyone rushes inside and I simply manifest my radio staff and wait patiently. 𝗧𝗪, so Toshi, do you think I am going to win? All Might. Sweat drops. You probably will if you went all out, so try to dial it back some, okay? 𝗧𝗪, sigh. I suppose it is only fair. Toga's POV. We all ran in and moved the bomb to the very top floor. I called everyone in to discuss a plan. Toga. Alright everyone. I have known him longer and I can tell that this is not going to be a simple battle. We have a small chance of winning against him, but that's if we all work together. Momo, so what do you propose? Toga. Well, I think that our close combat fighters can set an ambush in the stairwell, and if that fails, our more long-range fighters can fight him in the bomb room. Bakugo. Sounds solid. Now let's beat this nerd. We all break off and I go with the other close quarters fighters and guard the very bottom entrance. It's silent for a minute, but slowly we hear a faint static sound that only grows louder. With that, my face visibly pales since I know what's going to happen. We all look at the door and can see it slowly get dented by large claws. As the door breaks off, Kirishima jumps in the way to defend us from the incoming door. When he redirects it and the dust clears, we can see 𝗧𝗪 in his demon form just standing there menacingly. Radio static makes our ears bleed and I can see a few tentacles appear behind him with shadow minions rising from a portal behind him. 3 𝗧𝗪, radio static voice. Well then. Who's ready to party? With this we all charged at him while shouting since our fear caused our legs to move on their own. Jiro's POV. We hear shouting and quirks being used coming from downstairs. We all look at each other in nervousness. In only a couple of minutes the noise stops completely and we all tense up. Momo then uses a walkie-talkie she created and calls them to see if they got him. Momo, Bakugo, did you get him? Walkie-talkie, static. Momo, Sato, what's happening? Walkie-talkie, static. Momo, is anyone still down there? Walkie-talkie, 𝗧𝗪. Hello Momo, how are you all doing? Momo, 𝗧𝗪. What happened? How did you get this walkie-talkie? Walkie-talkie, simple, I beat them all and borrowed it from Ojiro. Now then I'm coming up there, so I will see you soon. Momo, everyone prepare, he's coming. With this me, Momo, Siro, Mina, Aoyama, Kaminari, Todoroki, Mineta, and 𝗬𝗧𝗏 all prepped our attacks on the door. I plugged my jacks into the ground so we can hear him coming and all we heard was radio static. I unplugged it and prepared to send my heartbeat waves at him. We stared at the door and the first thing we see is a single clawed hand break through the door, followed by a second hand. Once both hands are in, they pull the door backwards, tearing off the door from its hinges. The hallway light was broken, rendering it in complete darkness for a few seconds before flickering. But as it started to flicker we saw the most horrifying face. It appeared to be some form of creature that could only be described as a demon in his suit. Its pitched black eyes leaking some sort of BLD red liquid that dripped down from it and onto its chin and teeth. Its antlers being extended with its arms crossed behind its back. 6 In a flight or fight response, we all launched our attacks in a desperate attempt to destroy this beast. 1 In a flight or fight response, we all launched our attacks in a desperate attempt to destroy this beast. All of our combined attacks hit it dead on and create a cloud of smoke and dust. We all breathed a sigh of relief since we thought we got it. Mineta, what was that? Did you think we got it? As he said this, the same clawed hand zoomed out of the smoke and latched onto his feet. He started screaming and was suddenly pulled into the smoke, and we heard the screaming from Mineta get silenced almost instantaneously. Then we see a less horrifying demon form of the creature appear from the smoke while having flames in his hand. Then we see a less horrifying demon form of the creature appear from the smoke while having flames in his hand. 𝗧𝗏. Now is that really the best you can all do? Momo, have you outnumbered 8-1 𝗧𝗏. 𝗧𝗏, then it is a fair fight. 14 He dashes forward with capture tape in his hand. He manages to wrap it around Ciro and Mina before we have any time to react. Todoroki sends a wave of ice his way and he simple melts it with fire coming from his hand. I send my sound waves at him and he simply shrugs it off before rushing towards Uraraka, who was raining down rocks onto him. He manages to somehow punch the rocks in mid-air and uses a laser beam from Aoyama to blind Momo. Momo blindly fires her cannon, which allows for him to rush forward and throw the cannonball above Aoyama, which hits the ceiling and causes a rock to knock him out. I can see Todoroki try to send more ice at him, and in mid-air the ice stops. We see 𝗧𝗏 with his hand out and seemingly stopping the ice in mid-air. 𝗧𝗏, bet you weren't expecting me to do that, huh? Makes the ice fall to the ground and throws it at Todoroki. Eventually it is only me left since he wiped everyone out, and I drop to my knees in defeat. After finishing up Uraraka, he slowly walks toward me. I tense up and expect to be either knocked out or wrapped up in the capture tape. But instead I see him walk past me and place a single finger on the bomb. All Might, hero team wins. 𝗧𝗏's POV, and with that the test was over. I manifested my radio staff and started to walk to the exit. I turned to the kneeling Jiro. 𝗧𝗏, do get up, the test is over now. Jiro, why didn't you capture me? 𝗧𝗏, well, it was unnecessary since you couldn't fight. Jiro, I could have fought. 𝗧𝗏, you could have, but you sat there. So Jiro, I guess I couldn't then. 𝗧𝗏, don't fret, now let's get back to the class. I snapped my finger and teleported everyone from the building to where All Might was. All Might, now everyone, do you know why you have lost against 𝗧𝗏 here? Kaminari, because he's stupidly overpowered. 6 All Might, no. It's because he used intimidation to combat you. He used his scary appearances and intimidating aura to cause you to freeze up and make frantic attacks. He simply used this and took advantage of the situation to secure the win. Despite being outnumbered, he managed to swiftly counter your plan to ambush and overwhelm him. Remember, class, that numbers aren't everything in being a hero, and do not let a villain's intimidation get to your head. 𝗧𝗏, I do agree, you see that was only a small fraction of my power. So we will need to train you so instead of relying on numbers, you can gain enough strength to hold your own against villains. Transforms back into human form. With this I hear everyone visibly groan. All Might wraps the class up and tells us to break off for lunch. People asked me what that form was and what my quirk, but I told them I would tell them at a later time. I tell Toga that I am unable to eat lunch with her since I have to meet with Nezu and All Might, and she reluctantly lets me go. I teleport to Nezu's office door and knock. Nezu, come in. 𝗧𝗏 enters room. Nezu, how are you doing? Nezu, 𝗧𝗏, greetings. Care for some tea? 𝗧𝗏, it's fine, I brought my own. Manifest cup of tea. All Might enters the room. Hello Nezu. 𝗧𝗏, Nezu, now that we are all here, I would like to know why we are having this meeting. 𝗧𝗏 sips tea. Well, using my premonition ability, I managed to see something rather alarming. All Might, what is it, young 𝗧𝗏? 𝗧𝗏, well, I see a new threat against you. Appear. They call themselves the League of Villains. They are a group of villains led by All for One. The reason that this is alarming is that they plan to attack you. Very soon. With this I can see both Nezu's and All Might's face darken and turn serious with their normal smiles replaced by a frown. Nezu, do you know when? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, yes, they will be attacking when we go to the USJ next week. All Might, is there anything we can do? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, well, I would say that we continue the trip to the USJ, but bring the teachers and staff right outside and not leave them in you. I believe that we need to make sure the students witness this since they need to prepare for their future encounters with the League, and that we must keep up the image that we do not know All for One is still alive. All Might, but wouldn't that be dangerous for the students? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, well, my ability showed me that no students are harmed but Izawa and 13 get hurt but not killed. So All Might, you will also need to be there sooner to intervene so that those two do not get as injured. Nezu, I do see how this can be beneficial to the students, but it does come with a high risk. Thinking I believe that we should work with 𝗧𝗲𝗧's plan. After all, he did see the future with his ability. All Might, okay, but I believe that we should train the students harder to make sure they are somewhat ready. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, I understand. Nezu, I will inform the rest of the staff and keep this in secret. But besides that, is that all 𝗧𝗲𝗧? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, well, I did want to ask you if I could have the rest of the day off today and tomorrow, since I believe that I have found a person that can possibly help us. Nezu, well, who is this person? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, they would have become a League of Villains member later on, but I believe that with the proper guidance and help they can either be a hero or live a normal life. One All Might, so you want to rehabilitate them like what you did with young Toga. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, correct. Nezu, I suppose it is all right as long as I inform Detective 𝗧𝗂𝘁 about the matter. Okay, after you get some lunch I will allow you to go investigate this person. Also, could you write a file on them so I can get more information to work things out? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, very well. All Might, while you do that I will go improve my lesson plan to strengthen the students to have them prepare for the USJ. Nezu, with that I suppose this meeting is finished. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, all right, gets up, I will see you two at the end of the day. All Might, I wish you the best of luck on your assignment 𝗧𝗲𝗧. Nezu, me to 𝗧𝗧𝗧. Takes sip from teacup 𝗧𝗧𝗧. Thank you, and with that I bid you adieu. Teleports to cafeteria. As soon as I got there I received my special food, which was a spicy stew that contained bits of flesh. I took the bowl and I teleported to my office where I ate and started working on a file of the person I will be investigating. I also started to research where I can find some more info about this person. I found a person that can hopefully lead me to them. Oh, I can't wait to meet them. After all, I hope they decide help us. Getting them on our team may be helpful against our future battle against the League. 2 𝗧𝗲𝗧's POV. 1. I teleported to a city where I learned that my connection to the person in question is. I walked along the path gathering many people's attention since I was in my demon form. Many people stood out of my way thinking I was a villain. I got to the more sketchier part of the city where I knew I could find some information. I saw a bar with multiple thugs around it and I knew I found my place. I walked up to the door but I was stopped by a bouncer. Bouncer, what's your business here? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, I am simply looking for some information. Bouncer, well, we ain't got any info here, so scram. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, oh, I do believe you have what I am looking for. Bouncer, even if we got what you want, you aren't allowed here. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, oh, it just so happens that I have a pass. Manifest a small stack of money. Bouncer, it seems that your pass checks out, grabs money and places it in pocket. Hope you find what you're looking for. Allows me to walk in. 1 𝗧𝗲𝗧, don't worry, I will. Walks in. I walk in and I see multiple people at booths siding with each other, talking and eating. I see a few questionable transactions and I found the man that I am looking for talking with a group of people. I slide down into an empty booth and a waiter appears to take my order. Waiter, how may I help you, sir? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, I would like some venison if you have some, and I would like to talk to that gentleman. Looks to a man wearing a purple suit with some small purple glasses who was smoking a cigarette. Waiter, how would you like your venison? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, rare please. Waiter, your meal will be out shortly. I see the waiter go to the back and tell them my order while also whispering something to the man in question. After a good 5 minutes my food comes out and I start to eat. As I am eating I see a group of 3 thugs walk to my table. Thug 1, I ain't seen you round these parts. Thug 2, yeah, what's the likes of you doing here? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, I am simply looking for some information. Thug 3, well, we may have what you want. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, oh, I don't think you have what I want. Thug 2, well, I think you have something we want. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, and that is. Thug 2, well, that's a pretty nice suit you got on. Maybe we take it off your hands for you. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, I would rather not. Thug 2, takes out knife, I wasn't asking. Thug 3, yeah, how about you hand over anything you got on you too? Holds out hands that turn into knives. Thug 1, points finger like a gun and I hear a clicking sound. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, you don't want to do this, boys. Thug 2, there's 3 of us and only one of you. You can't do SHT. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, chuckles, well, I would have to disagree. I then take the last bite of my venison, then quickly smash the plate against the first thug's face. His finger gun goes off and hits the ceiling. The second thug goes to stab me, but I catch his hand and stab him with his own knife. The third thug uses his knife hands and goes to slash me, but I stop his quirk and his hand turns into a normal hand which ends up slapping my suit. So I glare at the man and punch him in the face, rendering him unconscious. I dust my suit off and sit back down after looking around and seeing everyone stare at me. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, take a picture, it will last longer. Everyone then continues to do what they were doing and I see the person I am looking for arrive at my booth. I saw what you did and I wanted to thank you. Those 3 idiots act like a big shot, but they just annoy the other customers. But enough of that, I heard you were looking for me. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, yes, I was looking to talk to you, 𝗓𝗪𝗓. To 𝗓𝗪𝗓, chuckle, so what do you need? 𝗧𝗓𝗧, well, I'm looking for information about the whereabouts of a certain man. 𝗓𝗓𝗓, so who is this man? Maybe I got something about them. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, I am looking for a man named 𝗔𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗃, but he goes by Twice. One 𝗓𝗓𝗓, I know Twice. I can give you his location and number. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, excellent. 𝗓𝗪𝗓, but only for a price. I don't give handouts, even if you take care of some random thugs that are being an inconvenience. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, I would expect nothing less from Japan's best info broker. So how much? 𝗓𝗓𝗓, takes a drag from cigarette. How about 50,000 yen? 𝗧𝗓𝗧, deal, manifest suitcase filled with yen. 𝗓𝗓𝗓, pleasure doing business with you. Writes down location and number of both him and Twice's number on a piece of paper. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, no, please, the pleasure is mine. Takes paper and offers hand for a handshake. 𝗓𝗓𝗓, takes hand. I hope that we can continue this in the future, Mr. 𝗧𝗓𝗧. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, or Radio Demon, whatever you prefer. 𝗓𝗓𝗓, farewell, Radio Demon. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, farewell. With that I left. Even though I am a hero, it is still good to have gained connections to the underground. After all, I can take down villains with info from 𝗓𝗓𝗓. I teleport back to you. And into my office. I manifest a new burner phone and call Twice. It rings a couple of times before he answers. Twice, hello. 𝗧𝗓𝗧, good evening. Twice, do I know you / I know you? 𝗧𝗓𝗧, no, you don't know me, but I received your number from a man named 𝗓𝗓𝗓. Twice, 𝗓𝗓𝗓, did he give you my number? 𝗧𝗓𝗓, well, because I asked. Also because I would love to have a conversation that I think benefits you greatly. Twice, thinks for a moment. Fine, where should we meet? 𝗧𝗓𝗓, how about your apartment since it is more private? Twice, fine, when are you coming? 𝗧𝗓𝗓, how about right now? Twice, wait, what? I teleport to his apartment door while still on the phone. 𝗧𝗓𝗓, alright, I'm here. Knocks on door and hangs up. I hear some shuffling inside, and after a few moments a man wearing a mask opens the door and allows me inside. 𝗧𝗓𝗓, finally we meet face to face. Twice, and you are 𝗧𝗓𝗓. 𝗧𝗓𝗓, future hero in training. With that he tenses up and gets in a defensive stance. 𝗧𝗓𝗓, now, I am not here to fight. Instead I am here to cut you a deal to help you out. Twice, what can a hero offer me? 𝗧𝗓𝗓, how would you feel if I could offer your crimes to be forgiven and start a new life? Twice, you can do that. / no way you can do that. 𝗧𝗓𝗓, yes I can. You see the school I am going to, which is 𝗬𝗲𝗓𝗧, has a villain rehabilitation program. Twice, rehabilitate villains. 𝗧𝗓𝗓, yes, you heard right, rehabilitate villains. You may think it's impossible, but we have already rehabilitated one. Twice, really? 𝗧𝗓𝗓, yes indeedy. Her name was Himiko Toga, who originally went around murdering people and stealing their BLD to drink. But under the program she is now a student and my lovely girlfriend. Twice, no way. / I believe you completely. 𝗧𝗪, I have been noticing you tend to condescend yourself. May I ask what happened, but only if you are comfortable with discussing it. Twice, I will tell you just so I can do this program. / No chance I will tell you. Twice, you see my quirk allows me to make a copy of another thing. I can make a clone of myself and a clone from that clone. My copies are exactly alike except they break down if they are knocked around too much. So I made an entire gang of no one but myself. I had my clones doing all the work while I lived like a king. But my others didn't like that, so they arranged a little coup. I almost got killed by myself that day, and I was forced to watch as my other copies fought against each other. When it all ended I was horrified, and I don't even know if I am the real me. Starts to tear up while grabbing his head in pain. 𝗧𝗪, now don't cry. It's okay, and I do believe you are the real you. Twice, how can you tell? 𝗧𝗪, well, you say the clones break down if they are knocked around too much, so I propose this. If I hit you 3 times, then we can determine if you are a clone. Twice, wait, what? But what if I break down? What if I am a clone? Don't, it's too risky. I slap the man directly in the face. He falls to the ground, so I smack him 2 more times. I know it's a low blow, but it's the only way I can help him. At the 3rd hit everything goes silent and he freezes. He closes his eyes and expects to start breaking down, but all he feels is a little bit of blood dripping down his cheek from a small cut I accidentally gave him with my clawed hands. Twice, I'm not breaking down. I lend him a hand which he grabs onto and I pull him onto his feet. 𝗧𝗪, what did I say? You are not a clone and nothing can replace the original. He clutches his head and starts to argue with himself. So I placed my hand onto his shoulder and started to heal him. He stops grasping his head and his eyes briefly turn a crimson red before turning into their original color. Twice, the voice, I can't hear him anymore. What did you do? 𝗧𝗪, well, I healed you since you looked in pain. I believe that it may have helped with whatever was going on in your head. Twice, thank you for helping me. 𝗧𝗪, no problem, pal. So what about that program? Offers hand twice. You got yourself a deal. Grabs hand and shakes it. 𝗧𝗪, excellent. Now I will go inform you. And work out a room for you. Twice, wait, why you? 𝗧𝗪, well, I believe that we have to monitor you and you can start to train your quirk more efficiently now that you know you are the original. It's also so that if you want to learn for a future job or to become a hero, then you can learn there. Twice, it sounds nice, I can't wait. 𝗧𝗪, now with this I have to go, so prepare your bags. Twice, bye. 𝗧𝗪, waves hand with that I teleport back to you. And arrive in front of Nezu's door. So I knock to see if he's in there, and when he responds and calls me in I enter. Nezu, welcome back. 𝗧𝗪, how was your little mission? 𝗧𝗪, I would say successful, sir. Here is a folder of information, and just know that he is open to the rehabilitation program. Places folder onto desk. Nezu grabs folder and reads into it. I believe that he will be a great addition to you. I will work with 𝗧𝗪𝗁 and prepare a room for him. 𝗧𝗪, is it okay if he has a room next to my current one? I believe that it will be quite beneficial for him to be near since I helped him. Nezu, okay then, I will have 𝗬𝗵𝗲 prepare an addition with extra rooms just in case we get more possible candidates. For the program. 𝗧𝗪, excellent. So did you inform 𝗧𝗪𝗁 about the USJ raid? Nezu, yes I did, and he told me that he will have police on standby in the area ready for our call. 𝗧𝗪, good. Is there anything you need my help on? Plus Nezu, not at the moment, but you can start working on a plan for Twice when he gets here. 𝗧𝗪, very well, I shall get on that immediately. With that I bid you farewell. Nezu. Nezu, farewell to you too. 𝗧𝗪. No one's POV. As 𝗧𝗪 teleported out of the room, Nezu pulled out some tea and started to sip it while staring out the window, thinking about how good of a hero 𝗧𝗪 will be when he is older. 𝗧𝗪's POV. After leaving Nezu's office, I teleported to my own. I started to work on a plan of training and possible jobs that Twice can find. I was working for a good couple of hours before Toga came back to the room and entered my office. Toga, where were you? I was so bored without you. 𝗧𝗪, while I was finding another person to rehabilitate. Toga, wait really? There's gonna be more. 𝗧𝗲𝗏, yes, he goes by twice but his name was 𝗔𝗂𝗵𝗲. Toga, twice, what's his quirk? 𝗧𝗲𝗏, well he can make clones of any person as long as he has the measurements, although the clones are semi-fragile. But besides that it's an exact copy of the person, quirk and everything. Toga, sounds cool. 𝗧𝗲𝗏, by the way, did I miss anything while I was gone? Toga, well the alarms went off and it turns out that some stupid reporters got past the gate. Everyone was panicking but Ida calmed us down, because of that we voted him as class president. But besides that nothing else happened. 𝗧𝗲𝗏, that's it. Toga, yeah it was so boring. Sighs and sits on desk but now you're here and we can watch a movie. Extends arms out in excitement 𝗧𝗲𝗏. We can do that but only if you did your homework. So did you finish it yet? Toga, face pales why yes. 𝗧𝗲𝗏, oh really let me see it. Smirks Toga, you see about that. Rubs back of her head how about I check it first real quick. You know, to make sure that it's finished. Yeah that. Okay I may go see now bye. Sprints out of room. 𝗧𝗲𝗏, sigh too I continued to work on his plan for a few hours before calling it a night. I come out of my office to see a passed out Toga sleeping over her homework that she hadn't done. I picked her up and placed her into bed after changing into my nightwear. I then crawled into the other side of the bed and falling asleep. I opened my eyes and found out that I wasn't in my bedroom, but rather a dark room that had female children's toys strewn about. I wondered what this was. Maybe I used my premonition ability while I was sleeping. I looked around the room and saw a mirror that I walked to and saw myself. I was in my normal demon form with my suit. I turned around and saw that curled next to the bed there was a small girl with a little horn on her head. She looked terrible, with multiple bandages and cuts covering her arms and legs, with a beat-up looking medical gown that had small spots of BLD on it. I walked over to her and crouched down at her level, gaining her attention. Her tiny little head raised and I could see the tears flowing from her eyes that had her appealing red-colored pupils. Hello 𝗧𝗲𝗏, hello little one, are you okay? Reaches toward her. Please don't hurt me flinches back 𝗧𝗏𝗏, I mean you no harm little one. It's okay, don't cry, I am here to help. Why you're going to help? 𝗧𝗏𝗏, yes, despite how scary I look I am here to help. Now may I ask who you are? And my name's 𝗬𝗏. One 𝗧𝗏𝗏, that's a wonderful name. Now can you tell me where we are? 𝗬𝗏, I don't know. And Mr. Overhaul doesn't let me out. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, Overhaul I will have to keep that name in mind. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, are you okay? You look hurt. 𝗬𝗏, he hurt me. Starts to cry and grabs onto me 𝗧𝗏𝗏. It's okay. Pulls into hug and pats her back as I am comforting her. I hear a knocking from the door. I look to the door and I see a man walk in. He appears to have a green jacket with purple fur, some plain shoes, a tie, and a dress shirt. But what made me feel that the situation was odd was that he was wearing a strange beak mask, which reminded me of an old-fashioned plague doctor. 𝗬𝗏 whispers, oh no it's him 𝗧𝗏𝗏. So this is Overhaul, come now it's time for your doctor's visit. Even though I was in the light of the room he somehow couldn't see me. I stood up planning to take him down but he simply walked through me and harshly picked up 𝗬𝗏 by the arm and started to drag her out of the room. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, guy reaches out 𝗬𝗏, and oh please let me go. Reaches out Overhaul, now be a good little girl and stop resisting. You don't want to punished again do you? I tried running to her and I started to disappear. I desperately tried to stay with her but I eventually faded completely. I then abruptly woke up back in my room sweating and panting. Was it a dream? No, that was too vivid for a dream, and I don't even know an 𝗬𝗏 or Overhaul. I will have to do some research on this if it's not a nightmare. I looked to my left and saw that Toga was gone, and she wrote me a little note telling me that she went to class. I shook my head and took a shower. I got prepared and knew that I needed to bring Twice to school so that he can get interviewed by 𝗧𝗏𝗁. I changed into my normal suit and teleported to his apartment door before knocking. I heard some rustling before the door eventually opened with Twice standing there with a few bags packed next to him. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, are you ready? Twice, yes I am. 5 I opened a portal for us back to you. And we made our way to his room where he dropped off his bags. After that we walked to Nezu's office where I knocked and entered after he allowed me. Going into the room I saw both Nezu and 𝗬𝗁𝗁 who were both reviewing the original file that I gave Nezu while talking. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, greetings Nezu, 𝗬𝗁𝗁. 𝗬𝗁𝗁, hello 𝗧𝗲𝗧. So, is this the person you wanted to rehabilitate? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, yes it is. Twice. Hello waves nervously one Nezu. Greetings, is it okay if we call you Jean or would you rather be called Twice? Twice. You can call me Twice for now. 5 𝗬𝗁𝗁. Okay, now 𝗧𝗲𝗧 just like last time we have to do an interview with him just so we know more about him and if he fits within the program. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, understood. Turns to Twice remember buddy, just tell them the truth and everything will work out fine. Twice. 2 With that I left the room and waited in the hall for the interview to be over. I started to remember and attempt to figure out what the strange dream I had was about. I suppose after I get Twice settled in then I can start to research about this overhaul fellow. I waited for a good 45 minutes before I was called back into the room. Walking in I see that there was a small pile of papers that needed to be signed and I smiled since I now knew that he got accepted into the program. I spent the next hour going over papers on what I needed to sign. After that me and Twice were excused and I brought him to his new room. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, now Twice now that you're here and I am afraid that for the next couple of days you will have to be confined to this room just for security measures. But if you want to exit the room just call me and I will escort you to wherever you need to go to. Twice. When I turn to leave so that he can get settled in, but as I turn around he places his hand on my shoulder. Twice. Wait before you leave I just wanted to say thanks for giving me a second chance when no one else would. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, no problem my newfound friend, after all I believe that everyone deserves a chance at redemption. Mutters aside from a few. 12 Twice. Okay, see ya later 𝗧𝗲𝗧. With that I flash him a normal smile before leaving. I can't help but feel a great deal of satisfaction with knowing that I helped someone. I teleport to my room before lying down on the bed since I feel still rather tired and I know that I have a good couple of hours before lunch. So I set a timer for 2 hours and I got dressed in some comfortable clothing before falling asleep on the bed. I once again woke up in the same room as before. I looked around and saw that the little girl from before wasn't there. I tried to look for her but I couldn't seem to find her. I decided that I should look for her elsewhere so I tried walking out the door the overhaul man walked in from and I found out that I couldn't pass it. No matter if I tried teleporting I still wouldn't be able to leave this room. So I slumped against the bed in defeat only for the door to swing open and see 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝗔 get harshly thrown in the room with the door slamming behind her. She curls into a ball and starts to cry. I stand up and walk over to her. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, are you okay 𝗬𝐻𝐻𝗔? She looks up and pulls me into a hug while crying into my suit. 𝗬𝐻𝐻𝗔. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, did the bad man hurt you again? 𝗬𝐻𝐻𝗔. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, it's okay. Pats her head I will try to find you and save you. 𝗬𝐻𝐻𝗔, thank you. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, puts her down now dear, where's that smile? After all you're never fully dressed without one. When I see her try to contort her face but she only looks down in defeat. 𝗬𝐻𝐻𝗔, I am sorry how do you do that again? To 𝗧𝗲𝗧, oh you poor little soul, well you make a smile when you feel happy. Is there anything that makes you happy? 𝗬𝐻𝐻𝗔, what's happy? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, it's like when you see something you like or someone nice. 𝗬𝐻𝐻𝗔, I guess I got happy when I saw you treated me nice. With that I see her frown turn into a more neutral expression. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, well as long as she is not frowning, so 𝗬𝐻𝐻𝗔, I know how he hurt you but is it okay if I heal you? 𝗬𝐻𝐻𝗔, please. I place my hand on her head and I start to heal her. Her eyes turn into a soft crimson glow before subsiding. I can see many of the fresh cuts on her seal up and any loose blood flows back into her wounds. Her body starts to relax and I can see a look of relief appear on her face. After that me and her start to talk even though she was a little hesitant at first. We are doing this and loud beeping sound starts to ring into my ears and I am slowly starting to fade again. 𝗬𝐻𝐻𝗔, mister where are you going? 𝗧𝗲𝗧, I am not sure. She grabs onto my suit and starts to cry. 𝗬𝐻𝐻𝗔, please don't leave me mister. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, don't worry dear, I will return and hopefully we can talk some more. Flashes her a soft smile 𝗬𝐻𝐻𝗔. With that I fully fade away and once again awake in my bed with the alarm clock blaring on the nightstand next to me. Once I turn it off, I head to my office where I start a new file on this girl, now knowing that it isn't a dream and I somehow met her in my sleep. Only knowing some basic information, I start to write down some notes about her room and condition, along with what this overhaul character looks like. After that I take a break and go check on how 𝗬𝗏 is doing and how the class is doing. I see that 𝗬𝗏 took a nap on his bed and the class is doing some training with both Aizawa and All Might. I sigh and walk to Nezu's office regarding this new information and hopefully he can help me with this dilemma. Aries POV, the man in red left again. He was nice even though he looked scary. He helped me and he didn't hurt me. I like him. Maybe he can save me from Mr. Overhaul. Now what do I do until he comes back? Alastor's POV, I got to Nezu's office and once again knocked on his door. Nezu, come in. Alastor enters. Greetings Nezu. Nezu, Alastor greetings. Alastor, Nezu, is it okay if I ask you some questions? Nezu, is it regarding 𝗬𝗏? Alastor, no, he is doing quite fine. But this is about something odd. Nezu, continue. Alastor, well, last night and a little bit ago, when I was sleeping I found myself meeting a young girl. Now this girl looked severely abused, but what confused me was that her name was Eri and she kept talking about a man named Overhaul. Saying that name I see Nezu freeze while sipping some tea. His normal smile is replaced by a look of seriousness that can make anyone shudder. Nezu, I am sorry, but did you say Overhaul? Alastor, yes, that is correct. Nezu, this is quite odd. Alastor, what do you mean? Tilts head in confusion. Nezu, well, currently there is an ongoing investigation regarding the villain Overhaul and his organization the 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗂𝗓, which used to be a part of the Yakuza. To Alastor, interesting. Nezu, that's not all. He has a daughter known as Eri as well. I believe that whatever you saw was not a future premonition but rather something that was happening in real time. You somehow managed to transport yourself to there, and if my theory is right, you were sent there to save Eri. Alastor, I do see how this leads up to me saving her. But my question is how. I know virtually no information about this. Nezu, well, I believe that I can help you with that. Hops of chair and looks through a cabinet on the wall. Here it is. Grabs folder and hands it to him. Aleida, what is this? Nezu, well, it's the current information on the case. But I will also help you a step further and send you to the current agency that is working on the case. Writes address and hands it to him. I will inform the hero about you aiding him with your case. Alastor, actually, I know that it has been quite soon and may be risky, but what if we had both 𝗬𝗏 and Toga help with case? It can prove that Toga has reformed and 𝗬𝗏 is willing to do good. Nezu, it does sound like a good idea, but I will have to talk about 𝗬𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗂𝗓 about it. But I think you should ask both 𝗬𝗏 and Toga before you do anything. After all, this is a very dangerous mission. Later, I will, sir. Nezu, I will allow for you to pull Toga from class, and if Aizawa says anything just tell him that I sent you. Alastor, will do. Almighty rat god. Salutes and teleports away. 15 Nezu, blinks and sips tea. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗏 god, not a bad name. 6 Toga's POV, ugh, why is class so boring? Mr. Aizawa's teaching us some stupid boring thing. I look outside and see that it looks like it's about to rain with storm clouds rolling in. Great, even this day is boring. I sigh and return to take notes about what he is saying. Even though it's boring, I have to pay attention and take notes or else I will get on my case again. Aizawa, and that, students, is a point that if you apply enough force you can knock someone unconscious. Any questions? Points to Momo. Yes. To Momo, is Kaminari okay? Points to a face-down Kaminari on the floor. Aizawa, sure. Now does anyone have any more important questions? Yes, Toga. To Toga, so this move knocks them out for how long? Aizawa, if done correctly it can knock them out for around an hour. After that we all hear some knocking coming from the door. As the door opens I see Alastor in his human form. He also appears to have a file in his hand. Alastor, greetings. Aizawa. Is it okay if I borrow Toga for a little bit? Aizawa, but are you trying to get her to skip class? Hair rises and he glares. Alastor, nonsense. It is on orders of Nezu himself regarding something that just popped up. Aizawa, fine, but she will have to catch up what she misses. Alastor, that seems fair. Toga, sigh fine I will do the work. Elasters. Assume that you are students. Answer me this question, why should I let you help me when it comes to the actual rescue of the girl? How can I be certain you won't mess up? Alaster, why don't you tell them more about yourself, you too? Toga, okay. As I said, my name is Toga, ex-villain undergoing rehab under you. A's rehabilitation program. My quirk is BLD transformation. When I ingest BLD, I can transform into a physical lookalike of another individual, as well as copy their voice. The more BLD I drink, the longer I has access to that person's form. Twice. My name is Twice, ex-villain also undergoing rehab under you. A's rehabilitation program. My quirk is called Double. My quirk allows me to make a copy of another thing. I can make a clone of myself and a clone from that clone. My copies are exactly alike except they break down if they are knocked around too much. Gives thumbs up Night Eye. So we have 2 ex-villains and can you tell me about you? Like what is your quirk? Alaster. My name is Alaster, I am AU. Student, and I am quirkless. With that I can see that both Mirio's and Night Eye's eyes shoot wide open in surprise. One Night Eye, so you're quirkless? Alaster. Why yes I am. I see that both Twice and Toga are holding in their laughter because I told them about my past and how my powers are not quirk related. Night Eye, so how exactly are you going to help us? Let's say we do fight against Overhaul. His quirk is very dangerous. You being quirkless means that you will have a harder time defending yourself. Statistically speaking, you are put at a massive disadvantage. So tell me why I would potentially jeopardize the mission and everyone involved in letting you tag along with us when we actually go and save her. Toga's POV. OSHT. Oh no. Damn it, why did he have to say that? I turn to Alaster and see him shake and twitch his head. His normal smile is replaced by only a look of pure anger. My expression turns into one of terror and I look at Twice and he looks just as scared. Static slowly starts to fill the room and everything seems to glitch and turn to static. The machine that Bubble Girl was strapped to seems to glitch out of existence and she falls on the floor. Now fully aware of the situation, she panics and clings to the side of Mirio, who in return clings to her in fear. Alaster slowly starts to transform from his human form to his demon form. His teeth and eyes glow a menacing red with his antlers growing in wild directions. Symbols and fire starts to surround him, and he holds his radio staff in a menacing way with his razor-sharp claws. Symbols and fire starts to surround him and he holds his radio staff in a menacing way with his razor-sharp claws. 7 Twice/Twice. This isn't looking good. Toga's POV. So we were supposed to visit a hero agency and work with them to help Eri escape and help capture Overhaul. But how did it turn into this? Stuck in a small room with a terrified Twice, Mirio, and Bubble Girl cowering in a corner with a raging Alaster in his most terrifying demon form versus Sir Night Eye giving each other death glares. BLD drips from the corners and teeth of Alaster and the surroundings continue to glitch with some sort of demonic energy and hellfire. Twice, Alaster, calm down. Toga, Al, please stop, you're scaring everyone. Mirio, dude, please stop. You already made Bubble Girl faint. Holds unconscious Bubble Girl in arms. Twice. Yeah, listen to the new kid. Night Eye, stop now or I will have To use force. 3 We try to get him to stop, but all that comes out is heavy static and what sounds like both demonic and animalistic roars. Alaster has completely changed as well, with his normal smile being completely replaced with what appears to be large jagged teeth. His hair is flowing with the energy that seems to be caused by the large amount of fire and glitched objects behind him. His eyes turn into a dark abyss with a glowing red fire in his eyes. A strange light seems to come out from the back of his throat, highlighting each strain of BLD, and black ooze seep from his maw. His back is completely arched back and he is looming over us all. His back is completely arched back and he is looming over us all. 1 Twice. Toga, what deal we do? Toga, I don't know. Toga, come on Toga. SHT, wait, I got it. He only listens to me. So I just have to distract him from his anger. But what can distract somebody's anger? I got an idea. Toga, hey Alaster, he turns to me and I do the one thing that might distract him. I run past everyone and directly towards him. I can feel it start to get hotter and hotter due to me running towards the fire despite everyone else telling me to back away. I take the ultimate risk and jump towards him while he's baring his teeth, and I quickly pull him into my arms and give him a hug. Everything in the room stops. Al is quickly stunned for a minute, and slowly but surely he starts to melt into the hug. I look up and see his terrifying jaws turn into his normal demon form smile. Once I see that I place a tender kiss on his lips, and just like the hug, he melts into that too. It felt like in that one moment it was only us in that room. He slowly sinks into it and a small static hum fills the room. In a few moments everything was back to normal. Well, as normal as you get to a 7 feet 11 inches demon standing in the middle of a room. Toga, I think it's okay, Al. I guide him to the ground. I immediately form a thigh pillow which 𝗧𝗪𝗧 plants his face into. I start to slowly slide his head and rub his ears while whispering calming words to him, and I can hear a small hum of affection coming from him. While doing this, everyone is looking at me with a relief and confusion. Mirio, how did you do that? Toga, I have known him for a while now, and I know what can calm him down. Twice. Things really just went from 0 to 100 then back to 0. Bubble Girl, frankly, that was pretty traumatizing to see. I may never sleep again. Night Eye, this proves my point exactly. Mirio, how so, sir? Night Eye, well, for one thing, he said he was quirkless, but what he just demonstrated clearly went against that. Also, he had an outburst at me stating simple facts about the quirkless. So how could I possibly let him do the mission if he lies and is ticked off easily? Twice, hey, don't talk that way about Al. He is a great hero. He saved me from my life of villainy. I say that he could even be a better hero than you. So stop talking SHT, since we only want to help. Toga, listen, Al had it rough in his past, and you should never just make assumptions like that. And why would you even say such insensitive things like that? Mirio mumbles they have a point. 𝗧𝗪𝗧 gets up from Toga's thigh pillow. No. It's fine. I was being rash. Please excuse my outburst, and I am sorry for acting that way. But understand that I will ask for us to exchange information for the case. Raises eyebrow. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, simple really. I believe that it would be quite unwise to assist each other in the future. Due to this incident, that is. So we exchange vital information, and I will save this girl myself. Everyone in the room is shocked. Night Eye quickly snapped out of his initial shock and begrudgingly prints 𝗧𝗪𝗧 a large amount of papers and places it into his hand. 𝗧𝗪𝗧 opens a portal, and we are all surprised that he places the pile through the portal. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, now you too. We don't have all day. After all, we have a girl to save. Motions us to portal twice. Toga. We're leaving just like that. 𝗧𝗪𝗧 snaps finger. Oh, that's right. I have one thing to do before I leave. Walks to Night Eye in demon. POV. I watched as Toga packed her stuff up and walked to the door with me, and I teleported us back to our room. Once she put her stuff down, I led her to Twice's room, which was right next door. I knocked on the door and he let us in. Twice. Hey, Al and Toga. Himiko Toga, but you can call me Toga. Twice. You can call me Twice. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, well, now that you two know each other, I wanted to talk to you about a certain mission that I feel is of the utmost importance. Places file down. Toga. What's it about? 𝗧𝗪𝗧, it is rescuing a little girl from an abusive man who is a part of a villain group. Toga, 𝗬𝗓𝗵𝗏 I'm in. 15 Twice. Same, who are we saving? 1 𝗧𝗪𝗧, her name is Eri. Takes picture of her from the file. The man we will be saving her from is a villain who goes by the name of Overhaul. Takes another picture from the file. Twice. Hey, I think I have seen him before. 𝗧𝗪𝗧/Toga, you have? Twice. If I remember correctly, I think me and Jiren met him and he was asking for some science thingy for a special project he was working on. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, wait, how did you meet him? Twice. Well, me and Jiren were going to go to a club, but he had to do a quick stop at some compound. So me and him walked in some underground thing, and I acted as a sort of bodyguard for him while he collected the money and dropped of the stuff. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, so not only did you see the base, but you actually went into the compound. Twice, yes. 1 Toga, well, that's great, now we kind of know the layout. Twice, I guess so. 𝗧𝗪𝗧, well, this is great. Tomorrow we are going to be going to this hero agency to work with the heroes on this case. 𝗧𝗏/Toga, what hero is it? 𝗧𝗏 looks at note the 𝗧𝗏 agency. Hey, it also looks like someone else from you. Will help us. Toga, who? 𝗧𝗏, some third-year student named Mirio Togata or known as 𝗵𝗡 who is interning there. 1 Toga, cool beans. 3 𝗧𝗏, alright. You two get prepared for tomorrow. In the meantime I will go create a plan for rescuing Eri. Toga, okay L, twice. Thumbs up with that. I teleport to my office and start drafting up some plans to rescue Eri. After getting some ideas I sigh and start thinking about why overhaul is hurting Eri. According for what Twice said he needs scientific equipment for a project and it somehow involves hurting her. It could be because of her quirk. But wait, what is her quirk? Hopefully I go back there when I go to sleep and I can ask her 𝗧𝗏's POV. I once again drifted off to sleep and found myself yet again arriving in Eri's room. As I looked around I did not see her, but I did see some new toys still in their boxes scattered around her room. As I waited for her I heard some talking from the hallway. I walked closer to the door only to have it be thrown open and have poor Eri harshly placed in it by Overhaul, who promptly locked the door. She once again had fresh bandages along her arms with fresh wounds dotting the bandages with small droplets of BLD. I can see small tears slowly start to drip from her eyes, which I quickly rush over to wipe off. 𝗧𝗏, are you okay, little one? Eri, it's you again. 𝗧𝗏, why yes it is. After all I did say I would be back, right? Eri, why? With that she grabs onto my suit and I slowly hold her close and start to hum a small radio static sounding tune, and I can visibly see her body relax itself. I then place my hand on the top of her head and start to heal her. With that she lets out a small sigh of relief and starts to fall asleep in my arms. As I tuck her into bed I can see her tense up once I move slightly away from her. I brush some loose strands of hair away from her face and I can see a small smile start to form on her face. I place another hand on her head and start to heal her again, and that should help if she has a nightmare. No doubt that she has those from what Overhaul does. I get up and start inspecting the room more thoroughly to see if there is anything that I can use for rescuing her. The room is mainly just a girl's room and nothing seems out of order. But the large metal door in the wall is really unsettling. I walk up to it and place my hand through it, but it acts as a solid walk. I try with even more force and it ends up as a futile movement. I sigh and once return to her bedside. I feel myself start to wake up again, and before I leave I once again scan the room to see if there is even the slightest thing that could help her. But to my disappointment I see nothing. Once I wake up I can see that Toga is sleeping next to me, once again wrapped up in a burrito of blankets. I tiredly start my morning routine and wake up Toga, since we will be going to the hero agency that is working on the overhaul case. Once we're both ready we go and get Twice, which is already up sipping from a mug of coffee and giving us a thumbs up while wearing a uniform over his suit. We all walk down to the cafeteria and get some breakfast and energize up since it's going to be an eventful day. After that I teleport the three of us to the outside of the address Nezu provided us, and we arrive at a small-looking office building that reads the 𝗧𝗏 agency on the front. 𝗧𝗏, seems we will be assisting 𝗧𝗏 for this case. Twice, who's 𝗧𝗏? Toga, isn't he All Might's old sidekick? 𝗧𝗏, why you are correct Toga dear. It seems you are learning from the hero history lessons. Toga, I guess so. We walk into the agency and we walked up to the front desk where we told the lady that we were sent here to meet up with 𝗧𝗏 about a certain case he was working on. The lady told us to go to his office and talk to him there, so the three of us walked up to his door and knocked before entering, but what we saw we were not prepared for. We walked in and saw a rather blue-looking lady strapped up to what can only be described as a tickling machine with a teenage boy with a cartoon-appearing face trying to turn off the machine with 𝗧𝗏 just simply staring at the lady, who is laughing so hard tears escapes her eyes. For at the sound of our entering we saw that the teenage boy turned off the machine and allowed for the lady to get a break and start catching her breath. Then both 𝗧𝗏 and the boy walked up to us. Hello, my name is Mirio Togata. In the back there is Bubble Girl, and welcome to the 𝗧𝗏 agency. Smiles enthusiastically Toga, hi I'm Toga. Waves Twice, and I'm Twice. Waves 𝗧𝗏, and my name is 𝗧𝗏, pleasure to make your acquaintance. Slightly bows 𝗧𝗏, yes, welcome I am 𝗧𝗏. Now is there a reason for your visit? 𝗧𝗪, why yes indeedy, you see us three have been sent here to help you with a certain case. 𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏, what case? As a hero agency we work with many cases so you will have to be more specific. Toga, the overhaul case. With that I see both Mirio's and 𝗕𝗏𝗧's eyes widen except for Bubble Girl in the back who is trying to catch her breath. Mirio quickly closes the door and stands back with his mentor. 𝗕𝗏𝗧, why would we possibly need your help? 𝗧𝗪, well maybe because I have had contact with a small girl named Eri who is being harmed by that man. Says with visible disgust 𝗕𝗏𝗧, you had contact with her? 𝗧𝗪, yes I have, brief moments but I have seen her multiple times with injuries that seem to worsen with every visit. Mirio, sir we have to let them help. If he met the girl then he can help us save her. 𝗕𝗏𝗧, thinks hard for a moment fine. Sits down at desk 𝗧𝗪, great. 𝗕𝗏𝗧, you can work with us with information. But judging from both Twice and Toga's uniform I can only form and gets whispers in his ear 𝗧𝗪. Listen I may be a hero, but if you say that ever again to me or anyone else. Chuckles 𝗧𝗪, 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗓𝗃 𝗬𝗓𝗃 𝗬𝗓𝗃𝗓𝗃 𝗬𝗓𝗃𝗬𝗓𝗃 10 with that 𝗕𝗏𝗧's face pales. 𝗕𝗏𝗧, is that a threat? 𝗧𝗪, it's not a threat. It's a goddamn promise. One 𝗕𝗏𝗧, fuming with rage fine take your information and leave my agency at once. Gets file and shoves it into 𝗧𝗪's arms. 𝗧𝗪, thank you my good sir. Opens portal with that me and Twice look at Al and each other with confusion. 𝗧𝗪, oh before I leave I must do one thing. Walks to Mirio and hands him a card. Mirio, what's this? 𝗧𝗪, oh it's a card with my number. I may not want to work with 𝗕𝗏𝗧 but you are different. I see big things coming your way. 𝗕𝗏𝗧, shouldn't you be leaving? 𝗧𝗪, yes. Well I suppose I bid you adieu. Walks through portal Twice. I guess this is bye. Toga, I guess. Well it was nice meeting you. Well at least some of you shoots a glare at 𝗕𝗏𝗧 with that me and Twice walk through the portal and see that we return to our room at you. Twice, hey old buddy, you okay? 𝗧𝗪, never better. Forced smile Toga, are you sure you're okay Al? 𝗧𝗪, I am completely fine. Smile twitches Toga. Listen to me and be honest. Are you okay? 𝗧𝗪, I do have to admit that I must go and blow off some steam. But besides that I'm fine. Twice, Al what are you going to do? 𝗧𝗪, don't worry about it. Toga, Al cups face with hands don't do anything stupid. 𝗧𝗪, don't worry darling. Removes hands and kisses her cheek. I won't do anything stupid. No one's POV. It was lunchtime for the students so that meant the teachers had a break. Everyone was eating and talking about their classes. Aizawa, ugh my class is too loud. Present mic. Really I didn't expect that group of youngsters to be loud. Aizawa, I shouldn't have said anything. Grumbles and seals himself in his sleeping bag. Midnight, come on Shota, they're not that bad. They seem a little energetic but what hero course class wouldn't? Aizawa, muffled grumbles. Present mic. Shota you know you still love them even if they're loud. Midnight, Hisashi please, I love your energy but can you tone it down a little? Present mic, sorry about that. Midnight, so Toshi have you been training the students for the incident happening next week? All Might, why yes I have. I made sure that they have been doing extra strength training and teamwork skills. Present mic, that's good. I don't want my little listeners to be in that much danger. I know it's unavoidable but still. Pouts as they continue to talk. They see a red portal form and 𝗧𝗪 walking through in his demon form. All Might, greetings young 𝗧𝗪. What brings you here? 𝗧𝗪, Toshinori. All Might, yes my boy. 𝗧𝗪, fight me. Plus everyone. No one's POV. 𝗧𝗪, fight me. Everyone. All Might, spits out drink. I'm sorry. I don't think I heard you correctly. Could you please say that again? 𝗧𝗪, I said fight me. All Might, but why my boy? 𝗧𝗪, to be honest with you, I'm pissed and I need to let off some steam. Present mic, but why fight Toshi? 𝗧𝗪, because he is probably the only other person that can withstand my power. The other being All for One, but that fight isn't until later. 2 Midnight, but what got you so riled up? 𝗧𝗪, I don't want to talk about it. All Might, I suppose we can spar for a little bit. Scratches chin, but only until the end of lunch PRD, which is in checks clock on wall 30 minutes. 𝗧𝗲𝗏, good. That's all the time I need. 𝗬𝗵𝗲, are you sure you want to go through with this Toshinori? All Might, I suppose it would be good to practice a fight like this. After all for one is still out there. Shudders one 𝗧𝗲𝗏, see it's a great idea. Now let's head to the fake city and fight. Smiles widely Nezu, walks in do my ears deceive me? Or is this an unregulated fight taking place on school grounds? With that everyone freezes since they totally forgot to ask for permission from Nezu. 𝗧𝗲𝗏, well you see All Might, we were actually going to ask you now. Smiles nervously, isn't that right? Everyone nods their heads nervously. Nezu, calm down everyone. I would like to see this small skirmish between you two as well. This could be useful for a skills test to see how far 𝗧𝗲𝗏 here has improved himself since the first day he arrived. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, well enough dilly-dallying then, let's get to the fake city. Teleports everyone in the room to ground beta, but little did they know there was somebody listening into this conversation. This person was actually on their way to lunch and accidentally overheard this conversation. So they went to go report this to the other members of their group. Bakugo's POV, I was walking to class with dunce head, shitty hair, and flat face. They were talking about how training has been super hard recently. I mean for them. It was super easy for me. All of a sudden we hear soft footsteps that start to closer and louder with every step. Suddenly we hear raccoon eyes turn the corner and run into shitty hair before yelling something. Kirishima, whoa there Mina. Are you okay? Mina, guys, I just heard the juiciest piece of gossip. Kaminari, what? Mina, 𝗧𝗏𝗏 and All Might are gonna fight. Everyone, what? Even I'm intrigued now. Zero, then what are we standing out here for? Let's go watch. Mina, get everyone and head to ground beta. With that they all just split up and I let out a huff and start making my way to ground beta. I want to see how good the nerd can really fight. I mean he took all of us out, so I want to see how he squares up at the number one. Well, current number one till I take first. I get there and soon everyone arrives and we watch from behind the teachers who are watching the monitors as All Might and 𝗧𝗏𝗏 do a standoff in the middle of the city. Of course we all asked if we could watch first. The teachers were confused on how we found out but dismissed it and allowed us. I see Raccoon Eyes somehow have a giant bucket of popcorn and is sharing it with the rest of the idiots. Though I do secretly grab myself a few. All Might's POV, I stretch already in my buff form. I made sure that my hero costume is on and I flex my muscles. All Might, alright young 𝗧𝗏𝗏. I only have one request for this little battle. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, what would that be my good sir? All Might, well, it is to only use our physical strength. No powers. Just a good old slug fest. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, very well then. But do give me 1 second to get ready then. All Might, take your time. I see him take off his jacket and then he start to take off his undershirt. But for some reason as he takes it off he suddenly stops and gazes off into the distance. After that he seems to make a very odd face and takes his tongue and sticks it out in a weird way. After that he places his monocle onto his folded clothes. All Might, were you alright? 𝗧𝗏𝗏, I do apologize. I was simply stretching out my jaw to loosen up. For All Might, okay then. With that we both raise our fist and get ready to fight. Toga's POV. So I was walking to grab lunch at the cafeteria but then I saw Mina urgently ushering out the rest of the girls from our class. She then noticed me and ran to me. Mina, hey Toga. Toga, hey. What's going on? Mina, 𝗧𝗏𝗏 and All Might are fighting and we're going to watch. Toga, oh that's very interesting. I told him to not do anything stupid and now he's fighting All Might. Face turns into a semi-annoyed smile before returning to normal. Guess I will join you guys then. Mina, okay let's hurry then. We arrive to where everyone else is and we start watching through the monitors that the teachers are watching. We then hear Toshinori suggest to fight 𝗧𝗏𝗏 hand-to-hand rather than using his powers. I guess it will make it a little more fairer for Toshinori. After that he starts taking off his shirt and I almost had a major nosebleed. It's like Al saw me through the monitor because he basically gazed right into my eyes and stuck out his tongue seductively while stripping off his undershirt. I saw his nice-looking muscles and his scars seemed to heal up and give off his smooth skin. 2. I saw his nice-looking muscles and his scars seemed to heal up and give off his smooth skin even though I've seen it multiple times when training, he's never done that before. Oh, I'm so going to have him show me a thing or to later. Wait, no. Brain. Stop making those thoughts. Great, now I'm going to have to lock myself in corny jail. Mina, oh, he's so hot, Bakugo, mumbles nerd looks stronger. Ida, I must ask him what his workout regimen is after this. Hand chops 6 Uraraka. Hey Toga-chan, are you okay? Your face looks very red. Tilts her head in a worried manner. Toga. Yeah, I'm finny anyways, let's watch the fight. No one's POV. 𝗧𝗪 and All Might squared off in the city, with both of their fists raised. All Might was the person to make the first move. He makes a quick dash in front of 𝗧𝗪 and throws a quick right hook before following up with a left uppercut. In return, 𝗧𝗪 dodges the hit and parries the uppercut and using the momentum to flip himself and charge into All Might's chest, knocking them both back a few feet. All Might was quickly stunned by this, but he recovered and retaliated with a quick throw of 𝗧𝗪 into one of the buildings, which gave him some very valuable distance between him. 𝗧𝗪 reached the building and crashed into the side. He made his way out of the rubble and propels himself with his raw strength towards All Might, who yells Texas Smash and sends a high pressure of wind to impact into Al, but he takes the attack and punches All Might, who is sent into a building this time. 𝗧𝗪 wastes no time and jumps to where All Might is and is greeted with a Nebraska Smash which sends 𝗧𝗪 flying in the air. All Might then does a somersault and California Smash and sends 𝗧𝗪 into the ground. Once on the ground, All Might uses a ground P&D to send him even further into the ground. All Might then looks into the crater that he caused. 2. 𝗧𝗪 flies out of it and uppercuts All Might while following up with punch right in the face. Using his speed, he takes advantage of the stunned All Might and sweeps his legs, knocking All Might off balance before kneeing him right in the chest. Pushing All Might a few feet, he then does a spin kick and sends a punch right to his stomach. Instead, All Might catches his foot and sends a flurry of punches towards him, which 𝗧𝗪 takes the hits but stands his ground. The speed and power of his hits sends shockwaves that start to crumble the nearby buildings. 𝗧𝗪 regains his composure and catches both of All Might's fist and they get locked in a battle of pure strength. At first, All Might has the upper hand and pushes with all of his might, which causes 𝗧𝗪 to fall to his knee. But slowly 𝗧𝗪 starts to push back and forces All Might back down onto the ground. All Might uses his right leg to launch 𝗧𝗪 behind him and he takes the opportunity to stand back up and dash to him while hitting him multiple times on the sides. 𝗧𝗪 retaliated with a swift hit to All Might's face which made his nose turn in a different direction. All Might screamed with pain and clutched his nose, which gave 𝗧𝗪 a quick opening for him to slink behind All Might and placing him in a chokehold that prevents All Might from escaping. Feeling the ever-growing pain in his body, All Might stops struggling and places both his hands up and shouts that he yields. With that, the spar was over and 𝗧𝗪 released him and helped him up, all the while healing him, which gave All Might a faint red glow that surrounded his body, before it quickly subsided. 𝗧𝗪, thanks Toshinori, I really needed that. All Might, don't thank me, young 𝗧𝗪, I needed that. It's been a while since I had a good fight and it's good to see that your healing really did fix me back to my top shape. 𝗧𝗪, no problem, All Might. It was an honor to fight you. All Might, you as well. Pats his back. All Might, so what now? 𝗧𝗪, well, I must start working on a case that I am working on. All Might, very well then. While working, remember that if you need my help I will always be able to help. Gives a thumbs up. 𝗧𝗪, glad to hear that. Now let's go visit our viewers. All Might, viewers. 𝗧𝗪, yes, it seemed we had ourselves a little audience for our spar. All Might, well then let's meet them. Gives a thumbs up. 𝗧𝗪, opens up a portal after you. Waves him in Bakugo's POV, DMN. WTF. He did it. He actually beat All Might. I mean, how? I know he got those weird powers and all that, but I didn't know he was that strong. I was going to challenge him to a fight, but now I guess not. Okay, let's calm down. I'm trying to be better. Breath in and out. Hey, I'm calm now. So he beat All Might. That's amazing. I might have to ask him for some training advice. Guess the tables have turned now. Now he's the strong one and I'm the weak. Well, there's only one thing to do if you're weak, and that's to get strong. One day, 𝗧𝗲𝗧, I will beat you and we can both be the top heroes. I stopped my mental conversation after an annoying choir of sounds erupted from behind me. I looked back and see the idiot staring with an amazed look. I smirked a little bit and smacked the back of 𝗕𝗓𝗧𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗄 head and woke him up from shock. He then proceeded to say how manly that was. Everyone else was surprised and semi-nervous due to 𝐴L's power. Bakugo laughs. Look at your guys' faces. They are priceless. 𝗵𝗵𝗏, how are you not shocked? Bakugo, I knew 𝐴L had it in him. Plus, didn't you guys think he was strong? I mean, we did fight him a while ago. Mineta, I knew he was strong but not that strong. He needs to be nerfed. He's to OP. 1-0, I agree with the little grape. Mina, so powerful. Toga whispers, oh my god, he's so hot. J0. 3 Toga, nothing. Turns away. J0, I must ask him for some fighting styles. Ida, I second that. Chops hands Momo, so he really wasn't using his full power against us. Todoroki, he looks like a deer. With that, everyone including me stops and just stares at Todoroki with a deadpan expression. Everyone, you're saying that now? Todoroki, what? He almost looks like a deer. Eyes slightly light up. Wait, I have a theory. 13 Bakugo, now's not the time. Shitty half and half. It looks like they're coming here now. With that, a portal opened up in the middle of the room. All Might, I am here. Walking through a portal like a normal person. To 𝗧𝗲𝗧, All Might. I think they can see that. Nezu, so have you got it? Out of your system, 𝗧𝗲𝗧. 𝗧𝗲𝗧, I have. Thank you, Nezu sir, for allowing me to do the spar with All Might. Nezu, don't worry about it. It proved to be very entertaining to watch, and it provided me some insight to some of your more physical capabilities. Aizawa, now that's over. Can we leave? I want to go take a nap. I mean, teach my students. Present mic. Okay, little listeners, you heard Shota, everybody out. 𝗵𝗵𝗏, but I don't want to go back to class. Aizawa, fine. Stay here and get triple homework. 𝗵𝗵𝗏, on second thought, let's get to class. With that, all the other extras and the other teachers started to head out, but me and 𝐴L's girl were the last ones left. Bakugo pats 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏𝗧's shoulder. See ya later, nerd. 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏𝗧's POV. Bakugo pats 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏𝗧's shoulder. See ya later, nerd. 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏, farewell. Bakugo waves. With that, it was just me, Toga, All Might, and Nezu. 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏, so Toga my dear, did you enjoy the show? Toga, yes, I enjoyed some parts of it. But what did I say? 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏, oh simple, you said not to do something stupid. Oh no. Toga, and what did you do? Angry smile to 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏, softly speaking, something stupid, please don't be mad. Toga, oh I'm not mad 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏. I just want you to come here for a second. Walks menacingly towards him while glaring at him. 2 walks menacingly towards him while glaring at him. 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏, help me. Turns to All Might and Nezu. 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏, help me. Turns to All Might and Nezu. All Might, young 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏. Sometimes heroes have to fight their own battles. Scary. Looks away while transforming into his skinny form. 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏. Nezu reaches out. Nezu, what can I do? I'm powerless. Sips tea while looking away. 3 With that, she grabs me by one of my ears and basically drags me to our room. Before we reach it, I see 𝗬𝗏𝗧 come out of his room after sleeping in. 𝗬𝗬𝗧, can't wait to be productive. Stretches 1 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏, save me. Toga glares at 𝗬𝗏𝗧. You saw nothing. 𝗬𝗬𝗧 looks at the sight before him. You know what, a few more minutes of sleep never hurt anyone. Heads right back in his room. 7 With that, we reached our room and Toga let go of me. With that, she stopped glaring and had an almost expressionless face and walked carefully around the room. Toga, listen 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏, I understand you needed to burn off some anger, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to be angry at you. 𝗧𝗧𝗏, I am sorry, darling. I shouldn't have fought All Might. Ears droop down. Toga, fought All Might? Oh, I couldn't care about that. Shrugs 𝗧𝗧𝗏, eyes open in surprise. Then what are you mad about? Toga, I'm mad that you didn't ask me to watch. I know I told you not to do something stupid. But come on. A fight between you and All Might. Sarcasm, yeah, like I didn't want to see that fight. Mumbles, plus you were really hot. 𝗧𝗲𝗧𝗏, confused noises. What? Toga, nothing. Anyways, I have to finish up my classes for today, so I will be back later. But while I'm gone, I want you to look at those files 𝗓𝗓𝗍 gave you and make some type of plan to rescue the girl. 𝗧𝗓𝗧𝗏, yes my dear. I walked to my office and slumped down in my chair with fatigue while manifesting the files that I got from 𝗓𝗓𝗍. Time to read them all and think of a plan while being absolutely dead tired. For the next couple of hours, I draft up some plans and finalize the plan that I'm going through with. I also think of how I just dogged a bullet with 𝗕𝗁𝗄. I scratch my chin while in deep thought and I hear her return from classes, which is followed by some shuffling around before hearing the bathroom door close and the shower turning on. Speaking of showers, I should take one after her. I smell like 𝗧𝗓𝗧𝗏. I leave my office while stretching and me and her quickly acknowledge each other before I enter the bathroom. I undress and I take a hot shower. That was something that I truly did need. Letting the hot water flow down my back, I breathed in and out with fatigue. Finishing the shower, I get dressed in some night clothes and collapse on the bed. I know I didn't eat dinner, but I am simply too tired to give a DMN. As I drift off into the clutches of fatigue, I feel a quick kiss on my forehead by my lovely Toga and I let myself fall asleep. Plus, but not before waking up in an all too familiar child's room. 𝗧𝗓𝗧𝗏, here we go again.